Good morning. We're in Florida, and waiting for hurricane. Thank you, appreciate that. And here it comes. It's not very far, about 60 miles southwest of Perry and Florida, and it's going to make landfall here in a little bit, and we'll go from there. Just a second, I've got to tell somebody something real quick. Listen. That's fine. Listen, you're on your own. Okay, I'm doing continuous coverage, two phones, and I can't talk no more the rest of the event. Okay, I've got two streams going. I gotta go. Bye bye. So anyway, good morning, everybody. So this is gonna be very interesting. So anyway, yeah. So it's on the way. We got winds, 130, 140 miles an hour, a couple of thousand feet above the ground. I don't think they've put a Cat 4 in it yet, but should be momentarily. Anyway, it's about 60 miles back southwest of us. And let me look here. I'm trying to get the YouTube stream set up first, and then I'm gonna jump over to something else. Because I'm just gonna give you a quick wrap up of what's going on here. We're gonna start the YouTube stream. We're about 55, 57 miles. This right here is the north edge of the 100 plus mile an hour winds. It's now 57 miles southwest of Perry at 20 miles an hour. It's going to be here in about 2.5 hours. So roughly about 5:30, 6:30, 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock, we'll start going into the 100 plus mile an hour winds, and then eventually maybe getting the 130, 140. This thing's been stir stepping for the last couple hours, and let's see, they just put this out and see what I don't know if it's a new mesoscale of 2 hours. Let's see what they say here. So I want to see if it's about a tornado watch or yes, tornado watch. The new tornado watch is going to come out. So basically, it's star stepping up, and it's continued. Last I heard, it was like 940 something millibars, dropping about 5 millibars an hour. The lightning is exploding. We got very hot towers now. Some dryers worked in around it, and sometimes when it does that, sometimes the inner core can collapse and do an eye wall replacement cycle. I don't think we've had that yet. Doesn't look like it, but the storm is just extremely serious, very intense hurricane as it continues to track off to the northeast. We've got a catastrophic storm warning, a storm surge warning back to our southwest, all on the coast here. All the way to southeast of Tallahassee is all catastrophic storm, surge warning, and the hurricane. We've also got a very large, damaging hurricane about to make landfall here in about 2 hours on the northwest coast. Anyway, so this is jogging up here to the northeast. It's going to be close if Perry gets in the eye wall. These things like to they kind of they'll kind of jog like this and kind of do this. So it's just it's hard to tell if this thing's going to go west of me here 5 miles or if it's going to come over Perry. Be very close, but the outer bands are pretty extreme on the winds, and I can tell you just to the north here, not very far south here, like I've got 85 mile an hour winds, 60, 70 mile an hour winds. So the winds are picking up here. We got light rain, light, very heavy soaking rain right now, but the winds steadily pick up as you go south here, right, just off the coast here, 70, 80 mile an hour winds, and then you're going to jump all the way up to here's the 100 plus. This is the extreme destruction stuff, 135. This is going to be the core destruction of the really bad stuff. And that stuff is about 25 miles wide, roughly. You take that out with the everything else. Let me show you another thing here on the satellite. It's been pretty incredible all evening, all afternoon, all evening, and is the eye. It comes and goes at times. Looks like it made a north jog just then. It was moving east. Now look at that, just jogged really hard back to the left. New hot towers back on the western side. So this thing's doing a little stir step. And we'll see it. It's going to run out of time here. We're down to the final 2 hours now before landfall. Not sure it's going to really intensify anymore, but we're probably very close to Cat 4 at this point, but still waiting for that to be cleared. So what I'm going to do, if you don't mind, what I'm going to do, hopefully we'll continue coverage here. What I'm going to do is get you guys on a mount here, and let me make sure. Let's see, we've got the chat going here so you guys can talk and do enable flash. Yeah. And you guys can do all that. Let me do this. And, let me do this. Yep. Letter by live chat. There you go. Apologize. There we go. Now you can see the live chat. So what I'm gonna do, because I've got to get ready, guys. I've got about, when this thing hits, I've got just a very, very short amount of time to get everything done, right? So if the video goes offline, I won't have time to bring it back online, because I'm gonna be focused on driving and safety and all those kind of things, right? So that comes first. And if the stream stays up, it stays up. We've taken some other precautions to make sure it stays up, but no guarantee on that. And with you're dealing with hurricanes and the magnitude, right? So you never know if it's going to stay up or stay down or what it's going to do, right? So we'll find out, and we'll probably find out pretty quick as soon as it hits, and it'll be pretty wild, pretty quick. So I'm going to mount you guys over here, because I've got a couple things going the other way. Yeah, I don't like that. Let's put you where I want to set you guys at. I'm gonna put you backwards here. Just bear with me here. And because I've got a couple mounts, a couple streams going. So if the other thing is, if this, I'm gonna do this. If this goes off, let me see if my camera, there it is. Let me do this. If this goes off, like the stream you lose the stream. What you could do is switch over to Twister Chasers, or just Jeff Petrusky on Twitter, and I'm gonna be live streaming there as well. And at Citrus County, y'all look at that. But anyway, that's what we're gonna do, and we'll see how this works out, right? So we're gonna have 2 streams continuously going, both on YouTube and on Twitter at the same time, right? So we'll see how it unfolds. No guarantees. We'll try to do it, and get the chat there. Yep. And we'll see how all this stuff, how this works, right? So yeah, it looks like the storm is, it's interesting. It looks like it's still gonna be a pretty big storm. It's making more of a northwest jog, northeast jog, but pretty close to us. But we'll see what happens here as it approaches the coast. There's a lot of dry air on the southeast side, so wrapped around it. So we'll see if the core stays intact as it approaches us, but it may or may not. We'll see what happens. But we'll go from there. Let's look at the radar here. And it's very, very interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting. Good morning from England. Good morning from really all over the world. We got people tuning in from all over the world now, live. And I'm just looking at catching up really quick on, there's so many tweets and so many messages coming out. It's very hard to indicate. Okay, here's hurricane data. Oh, well, breaking weather. Okay, so National Hurricane Center is 30 minutes ago. At 4 o'clock, they said Hurricane Hunter data indicates the Hurricane Idalia is still strengthening. Good morning from Connecticut. Still strengthening. Here's a 4 a.m. update position. Catastrophic storm surge is underway. Destructive winds. Florida Big Bend region this morning with Ida moving inland at 4 a.m. position. The data from the Air Force Hurricane Hunter aircraft indicate that Idalia continues to rapidly intensify. Maximum sustained winds 125, gusts or higher. Idalia's pressure is dropping quickly, rapidly. Wow. Pressure's down to 941 millibars. It's going down. It's going to be in the 930s here quickly, which is what the model's forecasting. The model's actually forecasting before landfall around 932, 931, 929. We're going to make Cat 4. Let's see if they, okay, and just a minute here. So Bowie just back southwest had gusts to 82, western Iowa, and another gust back to like 46. So sustained winds, it's 941 millibars, pressure's 79, so very, very low on the hurricane forecast. To see some tornado winds back south. So I'm just going through the feed here real quick and to find out what's going to happen here. It's pretty amazing. So a lot of storm surge back south of us, down at Clearwater Beach and those areas, as well as all along the western coast of Florida. Now, lots of reports of storm surge, water rising rapidly. Over the last 3 hours, I've always had a problem on and off with my ears with, you get tornadoes and big storms on if pressure drops really fast, my ears will hurt, right? So the last 3 hours, my ears just it was like you threw a switch on. My ears just started hurting really bad. It's eased up now, but it was that first wave of rain and storms came through about 2 hours ago. My ears have just been this constant hurting, like you have an earache, but I don't have an earache. But it's just when the pressure gets really, really low around these hurricanes, over the last 4 or 5 years, I'm real susceptible with the pressure rep or pressure falls, and it's like a barometer, man. My ears just go crazy, and so my ears have been just killing me crazy for the last couple hours now here in Perry, Florida. It has been very crazy. So I'm gonna look at the satellite, and so it's continuing to intensify. But I can tell you, the satellite's it's just bizarre, crazy how intense this thing is. So they're still staying at Cat 3, but it looks like it'll be Cat 4 very, very quickly, is what it looks like to me. So we'll see what they pull the trigger on here. If we get Cat 4 at landfall or Cat 4 before it makes landfall, it's going to try to make a run at it. So we'll see if that happens. Up here by, yeah, that's right. Hurricane's coming right for us when you get rapid pressure falls. That is correct. And that's been a problem pretty much all day, right? All evening. I do one thing I just found. Trying to get multiple streams going off this thing. Give me just a second here. Updating more stuff. There it is. Interesting. Okay. The rain's died down now, you guys. You're gonna be over there. So, okay, that's up. That's up. And just making sure everything's working, guys, here before it gets really crazy. Just got cameras mounted. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Okay. Wow. Guys, this is going to hit us like a semi. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. I've got about a, let me tell you how big it is. It's pretty big. I've got about a 10 mile by 10 mile on the right hand side of 115 and the course 148. I've got almost 150 miles an hour now, and the right eye wall, the center of the right eye wall, it's surrounded with about 80 pixels of 125, and I've got probably, in reality, I've got, I'm trying to get it narrowed down here really tight here for you. I've got about a 6 by 6 mile area of 148 mile an hour winds. And the north and the northeastern eye wall right now, 6 mile by 6 miles of 145 plus mile an hour winds coming in. Okay, that's going to do absolutely horrific, catastrophic damage. So the whole eye from the outer eye where the massive destructive winds are, it's about 25-30 miles wide, 15 to the side of the eye. And really, it's about 10 on the kind of left-hand side of the eye, and about 20 on the right-hand side. And as that continues to come northeast, it's you know what? I don't want to call it yet, but boy, it's going to be really close. It may spare it. I don't know if it's going to. It may hit us, but boy, it may barely spare Perry the possibly direct hit. I'm looking at it right now, and it's hurricanes don't like to move on shore. I can tell you that. It's almost moving. It's been jogging kind of northeast, east-northeast, and northeast. It looks like right now it's moving due north. If it continues its due north track right now, it will go west of Perry, the core damage area. Again, there's just no guarantees. That is just what it looks like right this second. Here comes heavier winds are coming in. The wind's definitely increasing. Let me make sure we've got some things going on here. So it's gonna be very interesting. This thing comes in, boy, the eye is getting tinier and tinier and tinier. The center of the eye, it's down to about let me stop this. It looks like it's about 2 miles in diameter now. The center of the eye now, very, 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 very tiny now. It's a little bit bigger than that. It's about 7 to 8 miles northeast southwest oriented. It's getting squished, kind of like a pancake little hockey puck. It's getting squished, and as it's getting approaching land here. So it's about 7 miles by 7 miles roughly eye wall, 5 by 5, and it's very intense. I've got about 45 new lightning strikes on the northwest eye wall, and it's been pretty simple. I'll take you guys down here real quick to show this, but again, once this thing starts getting closer to us and things get out of control, I won't be able to do this. It looking out the front window. I'll describe stuff as it's happening, and we'll try to get in there. Hey, I appreciate your support. Thank you. Look at the lightning here, guys. This is just indicative of an extremely destructive hurricane. When you see this going on, right, all these lightning, just new fresh towers on the backside, but this eye wall as it comes in. Let's go back at the show you the velocity data. This is off the Tallahassee radar. It's just classic. I mean, this whole thing right here is about 30 miles in diameter, 25 to 30. This is going to do the core catastrophic structure failure damage, and then. But this eastern eye wall here is just it's pretty ridiculous, right? Those are like 133. You know, as you move around 130, 138, 135, and again, it's not the surface. You know, you're probably a couple thousand feet above the ground. But as we get northeast here, and it gets closer to the radar, and these numbers, but this has been very persistent now for a couple hours. Actually, it's just been dropping. Earlier, about an hour and a half ago, it was like 100, then 120, and then 130. Every time a new scan would update, then obviously it's getting close to the radar, but also the area of expanding these extremely destructive winds are increasing as well. So as this comes in, right now, if you look at it, here's where Perry, and if you look at the radar loop, and you look at Perry, and you kind of look where we're here, man, it would have to move. It would have to move northeast, pretty straight, right? So it may do that, but if you just look at the last loop here, it's really got a beeline for almost a northeast direction, kind of like almost like this kind of category, right? That's a possibility. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you can kind of see how it's dumbbelling itself. The other thing that's going on is you got a trough back out west here. It's coming in, so you got a trough. I don't have the exact orientation, but you got a trough back west here, and it's grabbing it, right? You got this trough in this southwest flow. Right now, this area is in the right rear quadrant of like a 100-knot J-core at high altitude, way up high. And so this is help ventilating the storm, right? This jet core. And so as a trough comes and grabs it like a hockey puck, as this trough comes down and wrapping around and wants to grab it, and when it grabs it, it wants to just go boom. It's like you're grabbing something like if you ever played hockey or you open the barn door to the horse, so the horse breaks, gets through the gate, and he shoots out, right? That's what this thing's going to do. It sees this weakness off to the northeast, and as soon as that trough comes in, it's going to grab it, and it's going to just rip it northeast rapidly. And I wouldn't be surprised by this afternoon it's moving northeast at 30. It's just going to haul. So it's going to cover a lot of ground in a very short amount of time, and it won't be very much longer before it starts grabbing it and taking off northeast. But right now, it's about as mean of a hurricane. We'll see what the records are if we get it to Cat 4. Should be really close. We've already broke. There's never been a Cat 3 in this part of the coast, so we're going to probably set probably multiple records. We'll have to wait a couple days or week to get it validated from NOAA and everybody. But I would imagine we're going to break probably the lowest pressure in this part of the up here in the Big Bend. It's going to be the strongest hurricane, not only Cat 3, but if it goes to Cat 4, it'll be the strongest. It'll be the new benchmark of all time ever. For this area. So we're going to break Cat 3. If it goes to Cat 4, that'll be a new record. It's probably going to break the lowest pressure in this part of the bend up here, and then as well as possibly the strongest storm surge in history. So this storm could break 4 or 5 historic records of all time in this part of Florida in the Big Bend area. So it's very serious hurricane, very serious. And again, if you look outside here, you would you would never know. We have almost a Cat 4 hurricane 60 miles away, but that's what happens with these things, right? I'm at the Winn-Dixie here, and just hearing some things blowing outside, but that's what happens with these kind of things. When it comes in hard. So we'll see what happens, right? But very impressed with all the lightning in this thing. It's it's pretty intense. So let's see what we have on the satellite. The satellite's just been a beast. Look, these are all brand new hot towers, we call them. And what that is let me stop the loop here. It's basically just telling you that there's brand new convection. This is brand new storms exploding in the western eye wall. And when you see that, it's just coming around. Look, it got almost a pinhole eye now. Pressure continues to fall. I think we're clearly going to make Cat 4. Be interested to see if we make a mid-cat 4. Don't know if we'll get that low or not, but we're just under, not quite a degree, 60 miles here. If you see that's like 60 miles, right? So we're now, here's the coastline. It's a little over the halfway mark. It's now past, that's going to be the 84th parallel. And we're just around 84.40. Yeah, 84.40 is where we're going. And that's going to be, it's not that far. You know, we're going to have land here pretty soon. It's been marching pretty steadily this northeast direction up this way. So it should be crossing here about 20 miles an hour. It ought to be crossing here in about another 2.5 hours, 2 hours. It's almost 5 a.m. So around 7 o'clock, we're going to go from this kind of this white, really quiet, subtle to insanity in a very quick amount of time. And it's going to happen really fast. And it's going to hit us really hard and really bad. And then it's going to pull out rapidly. And then we'll be assessing the damage, and I'm sure there'll be all kinds of problems here as where the eye tracks. It may go west of Perry. It may go over Perry. We just don't know. It's too close to call, but it's gaining on us, and we're about 2 hours out to see what happens, right? So that's yeah. There's parking garages here. There'll be a lot of places we can try to take cover. There's not a lot of those here, but there's a few, and we'll take cover. We've got some places to take cover at, and anyway, that's what we're looking at. So while you guys are doing that, I'm going to start. I'm gonna wait just a little bit longer on my other deal here. I've also got to get some cameras ready because there's gonna be lots of stuff to record, unfortunately. Did you ever make it? Oh, wow. I thought you guys were in these vans. There's about 5 different stations. This parking lot's the best, buddy. It's wide open. I mean, it's extremely wide open. Huh? Oh, sure. I'll do it. Bye-bye. This. Get the window warm. Yeah, mine's your Periscope, doesn't it, right? The good old days. You guys are up. Now I'm got other people joining me here in a minute. The other Jeff and Jess are team up here in a little bit. Eyes really wicked. So okay, wind's picking up. Let me face you instead of facing the wind. Oh, there's the tree limb just blew down right in front of me. Tree limb just blew down. A big palm just blew off that tree right there in front of me. I'm gonna point you guys toward the, see, I don't want to be near that light because that light's gonna come ripping down. Yeah. So winds are picking up. So little palm break off. So some tree damage is starting to occur, which is typical. That's the first thing. So tropical storm force winds are moving in, and just south of us here, not very far, we have about 50 gallons. The highest winds are just south of us coming ashore here. We got 65 mile an hour winds just above us here, above Perry now, 65 to 70, and the winds are increasing. From here on out, the winds are going to steadily increase across Perry and northward, right up to Madison as this Hurricane Lamont, possibly east of Monticello, as it takes off to the Perry area. So we'll see what happens here, but the winds are definitely increasing. The kind of things you're going to see talking to the people on YouTube is that the signs that you see in these parking lots here, those kind of things are going to go, they're going to go sailing, just because of, that's what they do. You get really high winds in here. Trying to get you too much interesting. So these winds come in here like waves, right? So right now we're just waiting to see. The winds are just going to steadily increase over the next couple of hours. We're live streaming. There's one of my storm chaser friends from New York. We'll say hi to him. He's hunkering down over here by the shopping center. He's hanging out on this eastern side of the shopping center, which it should do. He's got a really cool truck. Right? Really cool guy. See his truck there. Look out, pretty blue. He's out in New York. Come by and say hi to him. What's going on, man? I'm streaming. I'm showing your truck off, right? We got chasers from New York here, right? Man, this eye, guys, looks super wicked.
Yeah, it looks good. The lightning really popped up in the last half hour.
Yeah, it looks really crazy. I mean, if you asked me 30 minutes ago, I thought it was going to go like 20 miles south of us, and then all of a sudden it started this back north. They said the hurricane hunter said it's still intensifying. 20 minutes ago, 25 down to 940 something, 942, something like this, almost in the 930s. The model had it down to 932, 931. We'll see if it's going to make a run. It might barely squeak out a Cat 4. Have you seen anything else of interest?
Not really. Just trying to pick a spot where I want to go.
I know it's tricky because, well, the problem. The trees are gonna. It's like a wall you can't get over, right? And things are gonna be falling on us, right? So it's like torpedoes. But that eye is about as wicked as you can ever get, right?
We only get like 10 miles.
Right. It's a real compact eye. That eastern eye wall, a while ago, it still does. It's still pretty extreme. It's it's. I've got a lot of 120, 130. It's gonna be interesting to see what the dryer does. If it's gonna do if. Yeah, it did. The dryer's coming in the east side and wrapped in. The dryer's wrapping around the north side, and it's feeding. It's kind of like almost like a draw line bulge on the, like on the surface flow. You get that wrap going on, and it wraps everything back to the northwest head of the comet cloud, right? And the eye that they say. But yeah, the dryer's wrapping in at that western eye wall. So here's the deal. So I'm just thinking out loud here. We're streaming live. I'm just thinking out loud here with you. So in this kind of situation, if you got new towers continue to build on the western side, and it's kind of left side loaded, so that's going to force it to go more northerly than northeast. So if we had heavy convection on the southeast flank, I mean really heavy, and this northeast flank, it would pull it to the northeast, right? Because that's where the new towers are, right? Because the center of the low wants to go where the lowest pressure is falling right ahead of it, right? So with the new towers to the north, it's going to keep going north. right? Northeast, until the trough grabs it, and then it's going to shove it to the northeast. But it's very interesting to watch this process. There's a possibility if you just look at the eye right now, this thing could. Hurricane Center's forecast. This is going to be amazing because it's like they had it 15 miles west of us, right? That's the track, 15 west, and the 5 o'clock advisory may be out. Let's see what did they update it yet on the 5 o'clock? Is it out yet?
We're at Cat 4.
They did. It's Cat 4.
Yeah.
Breaking weather. You heard it live. Cat 4. 940. 940 millibars. It's a Cat 4. Here we go, Cat 4. I know this is a stretch here, guys. I wonder if we could go for mid 4, like a mid Cat 4. There's probably about
2 hours.
It's got 2 hours left. Or Cat 4 now. I wonder in 2 hours. It depends how fast it's continuing to fall, but I wonder if we could get, there it is, Cat 4. There we go. 132 mile an hour winds to 161 gusts. Northeast at 18 miles an hour. Okay, 18 miles an hour, northeast, 940 millibars. 940. In the next attribute, wait a minute. Uh-oh, I just caught something. Wait a minute. Okay, this is big. Okay, the map here, it's got it going south of Perry. The new line is going south of Perry. It goes south of Perry. When I zoom in on it, it's south of Perry. So Perry will be in the north. Perry will actually the new hurricane. This is breaking the brand new track now, and I've got it zoomed in here. Yeah, I know. The brand new track's got it going. I'm in Perry. It's now. Let me get you a line here. Let's do this live, and let me look at the line here. It is, it's. From our position right here in Perry, the line's now 10 miles south of Perry. It was 10 miles northwest of Perry, and now it's 10 miles south of Perry. So that's going to put Perry in the that would be in the kind of the northwestern eye wall, which is actually at this moment is the worst side of the eye wall. So we're possibly going to have the most destruction, right? Because we're now going to be it's going to go 10 miles south of us. It's a new track. And we're going to be on the left side of the eye, the western northwestern flank, which right now is the worst side. So let's think about this. So we're going to have, if it goes south of us, we're going to have northeast winds at 130, north or northeast winds on the western north side of the eye wall. And just passing south of us, we're going to have northeast. So the debris is going to be coming from our northeast, flying back southwest at 130 to 150 miles an hour. Okay, so right now it's good that people understand this, because right now we're in a wrong position, right? You know what I'm saying? In this side of the building, because if the debris is coming out of the northeast, we don't want to be on this side because it's going to impale us, right? I mean, we're going to have debris hitting us. So I'm going to move, Okay, thank you for the chat. So guys, this is crazy breaking weather. I've got to get my other streams up. Let's get everything going here, guys. This is big. They got a Cat 4 going 10 miles south of Perry now. I'd almost rather it went northwest of us, because it'd be still have damage, but it would be probably the lesser side. But now it's going to go 10 miles south of us, and again, it could be off 5 or 8 miles. This is not going to be perfect on this, guys. But if I go center line here and I go 10 miles, we're going to be in the middle of the 130 to 160 miles an hour. We're going to be in the middle of it. I mean, this is crazy. So let me show you guys. Let me do this on YouTube first. Let me show you guys this first, and then that way you can see it. So let me just show you what happened here. I'll take this back down. I guess once it starts, I may be focusing on this 100%. So here's my barren stuff. So here's the hurricane. Okay. And so all I do is here's Perry, Florida, right? So I was coming down here to the little glass, and I said, hey, from Perry, where's that center line, right? How many miles south of it is it right now? So it's 10 miles south of me now, but unfortunately, 10 miles south. So the hurricane now, based on its current trajectory, the center line's going to go just south of Perry, 10 miles, right? So if you look how the hurricane is loaded, what we call left side loaded, that means if you look at that line, it's not, if you don't have convection over here, you'll get winds and you'll get damage in winds. But when you have heavy cores on this side, I can bring those 130 and 140 mile an hour winds, gust to 150. I can get those winds to the ground because this rain is going through these extreme winds right above our heads, right? These big, huge extreme winds. And that's what will get these winds down to the ground. You got 120, 135. I mean, they're just sick, right? These winds. So we're going to have damage. We're going to have bad damage here. But instead of being in the northeast quadrant, now we're going to be just south of us. So it looks like it's going to go just barely south of us here, 10 miles. It's the latest 5 a.m. advisory, Cat 4. So we broke the Cat 3 record. We're breaking the Cat 4 record now on the new forecast, and the pressure continues to fall. So we broke 2 records. We'll see what the max storm surge is here. I'm assuming it's still going to be 16 feet. There's going to be a very tiny area. In my best forecast, this is not from the National Hurricane Center. They're saying 16, but we'll see what the update is. There'll be a very tiny area immediately to the right of the eye where it makes it. It's going to be tight graded where these max winds are just insane right here. You know, this little 5-mile deal. You may get a 20-foot storm surge right on the right side, right? That's pretty typical that happens. But it's a very tiny area. It's not like the whole coastline. It's a very, 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 very tiny area that has a really, really high number, right? When they come and do the storm surge analysis, right? So that's the latest track, 10 miles south of us, and we're going to be in the northwest eye wall. So the debris is going to come out of the northeast. I'm pointing northeast now. It's going to come flying back this direction. So all part of chasing is you got to figure out which side of the debris you don't want to be on, right? So you got to look across the way there and say, okay, wow, that's I'm going to have debris back southwest there coming at me, right? So I've got to figure out which way we're going to go and all those kind of things. So that's the stuff you got to watch out for, is all this extra stuff happening, right? So we got to put you guys back in this shop over here and get ready to intercept. And the winds are picking up here, not extreme yet, but they're picking up. They're about 35 to 40 outside here. I'm gonna get you back over here a little bit better there. A lot of people waiting in the parking lot here. I got so many things going on. Oh man, I'm laughing because there's like 6,000 things happening all at the same time. It's gonna get really bad here. Let's see here. I gotta get this stream started. Let me get Periscope started. Periscope. Let me get Twitter. X today. It's X. Okay, I got X going. Let me get those people going. There we go. Just a second here, folks. I'll get all this stuff going, and I'm just gonna get the stream started and let them rip. You guys are just gonna see it like I do, and I did another update for some people coming online. Yeah, just woke up, Cat 4. It's coming here in about hour and a half. It's rocketing this way. Cat 4, and we've got now updating the YouTube. People are already online, so now we're updating the X live, and we've got the Cat 4 coming in here just southwest of us, and it's about 40 miles southwest of us. The brand new data now from the National Hurricane Center a few minutes ago, down to 940 millibars. It's falling quickly into the 930 range, 35. It's not there yet. It's 940. It's still falling quickly, and the hurricane is going to track about. Latest data is about 10 miles south of Perry, and it was about 10 miles north of Perry, so it went back south. And then the other thing that's happening, I'm just showing the people here on the Twitter side and those viewers now, we're getting 120, 135 miles now. We had some 140s a while ago. It's kind of going up and down, and this back western Iowa is just super duper wicked, okay? And when you look at this eye and you look at the convection here, this is where you get the very destructive winds, around this eye, because this heavy rain will get those really high winds to the ground. And right now, the eye, the really destructive area we talked about since yesterday, I said about 30 mile wide of really destructive winds. The center of the eye right now is pretty tight. I mean, it's almost a drill bit. It's pretty tight. You can look at that. It's really down there tight. There's the CC, and we'll just look at in the side here and see what we've got there. It's about 4 mile diameter eye mile, 4 to 5 miles. That's getting down there. That's getting really, really down there. By the way, I was telling the viewers while I go on YouTube to streaming that we have my areas have been real acceptable to pressure changes and falls over the last 4 or 5 years, and we've got new lightning strikes on the eye wall. Hey guys, this is just crazy serious. So this is going to be where the damage is going to occur. But the latest data from the National Hurricane Center, Cat 4, 940, and it's going to go just south of Perry, about 10 miles. So what's happening is you're joining us on Twitter. It's what we call left side loaded right now, because you got some dry arts mixed in. Sorry about that. Some people said, yeah, it's a half cane. It kind of is. We call these half canes, where it's kind of the right side's got this dry arc coming in, and it's western loaded. And because of that, as it makes its way up here north of Salem and just south to us, is you're going to have the heaviest convection. It's going to be on this left side. Well, 3 hours ago, I thought this thing was going to go up to our northwest. I was like, okay, great. If it passes west of Salem here, we're going to be on this lighter, still have damage, but we're going to be on this lighter convection side, but not this other side. So now that does not look like the case. It looks like it's going to go south of us 10 miles. So let's go in here and zoom in here. Let me show you what's going to happen. So if the center right here, if it goes anywhere 8 to 10 miles south of us, look what it does here for us, right? So if the center is just a little bit off there, I could redraw it again, and this is going to wiggle, right? It's not this is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. So if you look at that 10 mile right there, what's it going to do? If the center of the hurricane goes 10 miles south of Perry, what does that mean for Perry now, right? So that's going to put us, Perry, the city of Perry, you're going to have extreme damage, but the winds, instead of coming onshore out of the southeast, we're going to have this big damaging wind coming in from the northeast. So as this thing rotates up towards us, the winds are going to come out of the east northeast. So what I want people to do, as this is going to make landfall in a couple hours, probably between Salem and Perry. If you're in Salem, your winds are probably going to be ripping out at kind of the southeast and then eventually southwest. You need to get to the lowest floors. It's time you got to get to the lowest floors. If you're in 2-story houses, you need to get to the center of the house as this eye comes into land, a Perry-Salem area along the coast here. And we have these extreme destructive winds, 130 gusts and maybe I think it was last update was 160 mile an hour gust. I believe that's correct. Yeah, that's correct. It's 132 gusts to 161 miles an hour. It's going to be extensive, catastrophic damage. You're going to have buildings collapse. You're going to have mobile homes that are going to be destroyed. You're going to have roofs coming off houses, apartment complexes. That's what's getting ready to happen here, okay? We're about an hour and a half out. I'm going to go into details here quickly with this. So as this comes up, we're going to be in this northwest eye wall, but I'm going to draw on here that as the eye goes south of us here, just south, you're going to have this onshore flow doing this as the eye's passing us. But here in Perry, we're going to have this incredible northeast to east, and then eventually north eye as the eye passes us. We're going to start on the northeast side with 100+ mile an hour winds. We're going to go to the north, then we're going to come out of the northwest, and then we'll come out of the northwest like this. And what that does is, I was telling people earlier, it's kind of like a drink or can opener. You have a cup here, and you start peeling up the lid. Once you come around on about half the lid, lifting up on your roofs, as the wind's blowing out 100 on this northeast side, as it comes over the city, then let's just go outside. It's raining. I'm going to show you what's going to happen outside here. So it's raining on me, but let's go outside. Look, our wind's increasing out of the northeast right now. That's what's getting ready to unfold here. So get back in the car. So I just want to give you a real quick update on that. What's going on? We're still probably about, let me see how many miles we're out here on this now. From Perry, we're about 59 miles, about, let's call it 2.5 hours, 7:30-ish, 8, roughly. When things get really extreme, the only benefit is it's going to be lighter. And if we go south here and we look, very high winds are not very far away, 50, 60 miles an hour just south of Perry now. We got hurricane force winds based on radar just about to come on the coast now, 70 plus minor winds just to the west, southwest of Salem. And then as you get on down here, you go 90, 100, and then the radar, it does this thing where it's got to figure out the range fold. You see, it just made a big jump. This thing is coming northeast, guys, in a hurry. It's at 20 plus miles an hour. So it's going to be left side loaded, west side loaded. And but look at the new lightning in the eye wall. The eye wall, the eye is getting smaller and smaller. This is classic, all-time huge hurricanes, extremely destructive hurricanes. The only thing benefit, and by the, just by a miracle, to be honest with you, is I can tell you, once you get on the south side of Perry here, once you get out of the city limits here, like right on the southeast side here, and you go down 98 here towards Salem. Salem's fairly small. There's some community there. And there's about, I think it was about 10 miles. I did this just about an hour ago, right? I drove that just about an hour ago, just kind of looking at this thing, how it's approaching the area, looking at the land. It's about 15 miles down the right. So it's going to go south of us. It's going to go north of Salem. They're going to get blasted by the right front side. So the interesting thing is there's not a lot of houses in between. So if it's going to come ashore somewhere, it's almost coming ashore in the best area, because as you get southeast of here, it's going to be indicative of more substantial problems, right? So it looks like it's going to go south of here. It's going to probably head over Live Oak, Mayo, and this general direction over here as it goes to the northeast. But that's what we're seeing right now, and that's kind of it right now for this. Okay, let's go back to satellite and let's look at this eye, because this thing is absolutely just a burning hurricane Cat 4. My gosh, wait a minute, what am I seeing here? Wow, it's getting sheared a little bit. Okay, the one overcast is doing there, but the back western eye wall is like almost kind of reforming the eye. It's not like it tilted. See how the bomb circulated which wind? I got a new eye popping back to my west. That's crazy. It may be getting tilted. The vortex may get, instead of straight up and down like a funnel, it's getting slightly tilted. Very interesting. Wow, that's amazing. But look at that eye, guys. Look how tiny that thing is. It's a drill bit. This thing is just crazy. Well, anyway, guys, we're both on Twitter. It's Twitter, X, I should say, and we are also on Twister Chasers on the YouTube channel, right? Winds are probably about 35 to 40 outside right now. The other thing I've got to figure out real close, guys, is what am I going to do? Am I going to film this on the north side right here in Perry, which is probably the area I'm going to stay in, this general area, and then this thing takes off the northeast. It's going to be quite challenging to chase it because it immediately go in the country, and you got a lot of woods here, right? It's very woody, and that's one of the unfortunate things about this immediate area is it's a lot of tall pine trees, and that creates challenges when you're trying to intercept a Cat 4 with debris across the road and those kind of things. It looks like the catastrophic storm surge is 12 to 16 feet. Extreme life-threatening storm surge, the extremely destructive winds coming into the area over the next couple hours, and it's going to move to the northeast. And let me do a storm track. I've just got to pull this up here real quick. I'm going to look at the path of this. Get zoomed in here. Turn that on, and let's look at the path there. Okay, and just try to get this going here. So anyway, that's kind of the situation. Like I said, guys, we're gonna just let the cameras roll, do the best you can. You guys on YouTube, thank you for tuning in this morning. It's early, and then thank you for the couple 100, 200, 300 people now that are in the X space. 5 a.m. Here's another bulletin. Okay, this is a brand new bulletin as 7 minutes ago. It's another additional update from the National Hurricane Center. At 5 a.m., this is 20 minutes ago, it has become an extremely catastrophic hurricane. It is nearing landfall in the Big Bend area region this morning. Catastrophic, life-threatening impact, storm surge winds with Idalia. 12 to 16 foot storm surge, destructive winds, what we covered. The current risk, storm surge is 5 inches, so 12 to 16 feet above ground level. Destructive waves are coming on shore now. And Walker, Jefferson County line, and Yankeetown, Florida, you have destructive waves coming onshore now, 12 to 16 feet storm surge, right? 12 to 16 feet above ground level with destructive waves on top of that coming into Waukila and Jefferson County line and Yankeetown, Florida. This is a life-threatening inundation is likely. I have to click on something there. An inundation is likely. That is correct. So I'm just going on the line there. So that's what's going on with that right now. So we'll let that go. Guys, what I'm going to do, because I've got multiple things I've got to start running here very quickly, and things are going to deteriorate really rapidly here. In about another hour probably, when things are going to go down here, maybe 2 hours, but may get to about 7:30. Looks like the hurricane is now about, oh my gosh, just about 60 miles, 50 miles. It's about 50 miles, 100-mile-an-hour winds are now 50 miles southwest of Perry. It's also, let me do from Salem, because it's going to go just barely north of Salem. It's 46 miles from Salem. So as you go southeast, it's actually closer to those extremely destructive winds. And we have hurricanes force winds offshore now, and the offshore closest point probably just kind of in the Salem area back to the southwest. They're about 44 miles, about 2 hours out. It's 5:30 Eastern time. So the northeast eye wall, outer 100+ mile-an-hour winds will be coming onshore roughly at around 7 a.m. In the Perry area, just southwest of Perry along the shoreline there, and back in the Gulf side, and it probably give that we're about 20 miles inland, roughly 15 to 20 in, so it's 20 miles an hour. It'll be here in 1 hour after that, so roughly about 8 to 8:30 things should rapidly go downhill in this area with 100+ mile-an-hour winds and possibly gusts to 160 mile an hour, which is just horrendous. 160 it will be just it'll be really bad. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, how it affects the cities, because the hurricane is making a projected track between Salem and Perry, at around 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. And but right now the hurricane is left side loaded, left side loaded, which means the heavy cores and precip and the intense lightning is on the left-hand side of the track, which will put more of the South Perry area in the more destructive winds. But the right side's also going to have very destructive winds and extreme storm surge. So both sides are going to be very challenging. Situation as it goes in here. I'm going to look at something here. I'm going to pull up another product online. Let me see what the wave heights are. I'll pull up got access to the buoy data as well as the wave heights currently. And let me see what that is. And there it is. Wow. Okay. About 25, 30 foot just southwest of me now. Let me put this track on, the new tropical track. There's my wave heights. Got that done. And it's put on the new tropical track. And that is on there. We go. Okay. Yes, I'm going to get it. Oh, my winds just gusted really hard just then. Wow, there's a really good gust. I'm guessing that was definitely tropical storm force winds right there. It might even been gust to 50 plus, right? That was a pretty good gust right there. It's point towards some stuff. If we can see some stuff blowing, right? You can see the winds and the trees starting to move a little bit. Just look at this track. So they take it south of Perry, and the next town's downline, Dowling Park. You're going to be the right side of the I as it passes you. It crosses I-10 about 10 miles north of Dowling Park. It crosses I-10. It's going to be east of Madison. Excuse me. And it looks like it continues across Highway 90 there as it tracks northeast. It's going to head up to southeast of Lake Park in Georgia. It's going to be very close to Statenville. Statenville, you're going to be on the left side of the center track, which you're going to be within 10 miles of the I. If the I continues to look like it does now, you'll be in the most damaging winds. And then it continues rapidly up toward, actually, this is amazing. I just now looked at this for the first time. At Homerville, Georgia, it has Cat 2, winds of 98, gusts to 121 miles an hour. Oh my goodness, guys, this is going to be horrible. Then it snakes around to barely on the western sides of Waycross, Georgia there. You're going to be immediately you're going to be on the dirty side of the eye. You're going to be on the right-hand side of the eye. Still a Cat 2 as it's passing you. So we're going to have about a 300-mile or greater damage path from the Gulf Coast near Perry, Florida, across the north-central panhandle of Florida, cross into southeast Georgia, and then as it continues up, it's going to head to Savannah. They've got it going over right through downtown Savannah as the current forecast. It goes just north of Hilton Head by about 10 miles over Beaufort, and then it goes right through downtown Charleston. And let me see what the end tag is. Then it's a tropical storm as it's passing Charleston. So it goes offshore east of Charleston, and then it's out into the Atlantic, and we'll see if it wants to hook back around or what it does in a week. It looks like they got it offshore and out of here, hopefully. So anyway, this is going to produce a long damage track. Let me do an estimate here real quick of how much area it's going to cover, because I just want to know that for myself, kind of the track right now and where it exits. I've got it ballpark. It's going to be close to this number, 365 miles. That's just land only, not the Gulf or not the Atlantic. 365 miles, might even be, because it does a little bend, it might be closer to 390. Almost 400 miles of damage is about to occur. Okay, from Cat 4 on the Gulf side here at Perry and Salem, then it weakens to Cat 3 to my northeast, and then a Cat 2 just southwest of Brunswick, and then on down to a tropical storm at Charleston. So we're about ready to have 400 miles of damage. Okay, guys, this is what's getting ready to happen. Okay, I'm going to be quiet for a minute. I'm going to turn weather radio up. We're probably haven't been notified if they're going to do this yet. They probably will do this, what I'm about ready to say. The weather radio should go off. We're going to have an alert tone ES broadcast, emergency broadcast, and the weather service will notify everybody by a special ES alert when the eye wall's coming ashore, and they're telling everybody to get to the lowest part of your house, get in the center part of your house. Excuse me, losing my voice. as the eye wall comes on shore closer to that 7:30, 8 o'clock time frame. So there'll be a number of ES broadcast alerts coming out for Perry and Salem as the eye moves onshore, and we're going to encounter those 140 gust to 160 mile an hour winds across the city of Perry and Salem, right? So that's the things that we're going to be watching out for in the coming hour or two as this hurricane makes its way to the northeast. Let me look at the satellite again, and oh my gosh, oh my gosh. The eye is just, it is so wicked. This thing is just as wicked as you can imagine. Okay, now I'm getting really hot, exploding towers, very hot new towers going up on the southwest side is exploding on new tops. The pressure continues to drop. The northeast, the northwest side, the western eye wall, the southwestern eye wall, and it's got roughly 65 dBc wrapping around the core now, 55 to 55 dBc wrapping around it, and it continues to jog to the northeast, and this is pretty extreme. Let me zoom in here using the Tallahassee radar for this. Pretty good size area, about a 10 mile by 10 mile area. On the right hand side of the eye, about 120 plus 125, and then 100, about 125 to 130. It's as this thing is continue to move up to the northeast here, northeast, and that continue to have brand new, just tremendous amounts of lightning around the eye wall, new hot towers, and I can tell you the outer eye wall. We've got a double eye wall starting to form now. I'll just tell you that. Let me pull my Twitter camera down here. Got it. And we got two eye walls here. I'll get you YouTube over here in just a second. We got this inner eye wall. This is the massive destructive winds, right? We got this new outer wall. It's almost like a kind of like a eye wall replacement, but you got an outer ring and an inner ring. So you're going to have 75 plus here, going to about 90, and then this is going to be the 100 to 100, 120 to 160, right? That inner, it's like a donut, right? It's like a big donut, and so this is going to come in two big waves. This first wave coming in is approaching the coast now. That will create winds of hurricane force winds, or just under hurricane force winds, will be coming on shore within the hour now. It's 5:30 Eastern time, and this large catastrophic hurricane Cat 4 is approaching, and the eye is now still about 45 miles off the coast here, about 40 miles, the north eye wall, maybe a little bit less than that. It's just off, I'm talking about where it's about more like about 32 miles off the coast now. Back southwest of Perry, it's about 42 miles from Perry, moving to the northeast at 20 miles an hour. May pick up its speed over the morning as the trough grabs it and accelerates it to the northeast. So we're now about 2 hours, a little under 2 hours of extreme destruction. We'll see how this evolves over the next hour or two, if it holds together with the eye wall, if it does a weakening in the sense, I'll say weakening in the sense how the eye wall structured. Does the eye, that northwest eye come over us, or does it stay, more south or more north of us? This big heavy. All right, now I'm on YouTube right now on the YouTube. You guys can see this, and this right now is we're about. I'm at Perry. The hurricane. This is a northeast eye wall, and it's the center of it. So it's about 50 miles to the center. It's about 36 from the coastline now, of 100 plus mile an hour winds. And this is a Category 4 catastrophic hurricane, a catastrophic storm surge. They've got a catastrophic storm surge warning of 12 to 16 feet. Is now coming onshore, will be shortly. Large battering waves are coming onshore now, with extreme storm surge is rising rapidly now. That's going to be south of Salem, Stenhatchee, and then Cross City, Horseshoe Beach, Sewanee. They've been having huge problems down at Cedar Key. Those are all coming up north here. It's getting smashed into this upper arm of the Florida Panhandle now, and it's all heading this way, and that water is piling up, and it's coming up towards us. So Anyway, that's the eye wall. It's this very interesting structure. You never know. I'm definitely seeing a much stronger outer eye wall now forming, as we may have a little bit of a eye wall replacement. I mean, the inner core may collapse. Not guaranteed it's going to collapse, but sometimes that is not unusual to have kind of an inner. This is the main core. This is the engine, and this is kind of like the fenders. That's the outside, but it's a one big wind machine, right? And this is the thing, the heartbeat, and this is the really bad stuff. This is going to do damage. This is going to bring trays down, and I would imagine we're about 1 hour away. By 6:30 to 7:30, we're going to start losing power. Salem, this area all along the coast here is going to start losing power as these higher winds come on shore, especially the 75 plus, because the issue is you got all these tall pine trees all over this area right next to the power lines, and you get 70, and then we're going to step that up to 90, and then 100, then 110, and a lot of people think it's doing an eye wall replacement cycle right here. So there's no telling what's going to happen if this. It looks like to me there's an eye wall cycle happening right now. So normally what happens is this may weaken in the center, but it may weaken in the sense of instead of you having 155 mile an hour winds, it might be 140 mile an hour winds. But then this outer ring can take over, and you have a prolonged, longer time of maybe 70 to 100 mile an hour winds on this outer ring. So it's getting that double eye wall structure. The inner eye wall is not collapsed yet, but as it comes to the coast, it gets compressed, and a lot of things like to happen. I will tell you, hurricanes do not like moving on shore. They like to stay over water as long as possible, and you'll see this friction and the compression here as the eye wall approaches the land here back to the southwest here of Perry, and that's what we're seeing. Just tremendous amount of lightning in the eye wall. It is a super wicked eye wall. I've seen about as bad as you can get, and I have seen worse. Katrina, Andrew, Wilma was super wicked. Ivan up in the Panhandle, but this is pretty extreme today. That's what we're seeing here. Okay, I'm gonna put you guys back in the holder over here, and I'm getting ready to get really, 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 really busy. So there's Mr. Jeff just pulled in, and so there he is, and there's the other Jeff just arrived. We'll go from there, and I've got to check on some power going on here. So I'm gonna do that. You guys do that. I'm gonna check on some things before things get kind of out of control here. You guys are doing okay. Okay, you're plugged in. You're hot. Oh, I see what's going on. That's up. I've got, my Starlink is like, it's talking. It says I'm on live. Starlink's up and running. It's everything is hot. Everything's go. We're good. I'm seeing some lightning. Yeah, a little bit of lightning off to the southeast there. It may have been a reflection of what's coming to southwest. I'm telling you guys, this thing coming up from the southwest is it's gnarly. It's really gnarly. It's what's crazy is just how gnarly it is. I mean, it's one of those things, it's going to be bad. It's going to do some bad stuff. It's just, how long are we going to be in it? Maybe a couple hours, 3 hours, probably max with it moving 20 plus miles an hour. But it's going to be gnarly for sure. Yeah. Here's some crews. Go talk to Jeff over here real quick. Here's the other Jeff, and Sarah just arrived. I think Jeff brought me a gas can. Let's see what happens here. I think Jeff, he brought, oh yeah. Jeff, I think brought me a gas can. So, he's backing up. I got Jeff up. He's doing some stuff. Wow, I gotta roll my window up. It's really gnarly here. The wind. So the winds are picking up. The leaves and trees are moving around, and so things are getting kind of gnarly here. That was interesting, to say the least. You guys got YouTube going, and we have X going. Everybody get ready. We've got that up. That's a good sign. That's plugged in. That's a really good sign. That's plugged in. And that's plugged in. Okay. Everybody's doing okay today, this morning. They get me some water. Wow. Wendy got really gross really quick, didn't it? Yeah, I see what's going on. There's Jeff.
Hey, man.
What's up, Jeff?
What's up?
We have about an hour and a half before it gets goes from calm to gust 160 miles an hour in the eye wall. The thing is, with the most extreme destructive winds are on the left-hand side, the northwest wall, and it's almost like a half hurricane. But I don't know, not sure, Jeff. We don't have a eye wall replacement cycle underway right now because it's the inner eye wall looks like it might be weakening a little bit, and the outer wall is taking over right as it approaches the coast here. Don't know for sure what's going to happen, but the new track's going literally. It was 10 miles northwest of here. It shifted 10 miles south of us, but because it's left side loaded now.
It's almost like Charlie where it was backloaded on the backside.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And so now, depending on how it tracks and how if the inner core collapses or not, we actually could be, even though it's going south of us, we actually could still be in the worst part of the hurricane with the most damage up here in Perry. It's literally going to be a cliffhanger if how much of the city gets hit with the north eye wall, right? Or do we get in the center of the eye, right? Because it's literally going to be 4 or 5 miles. We're going from 130 gusts to 160 to calm winds in the eye, right? So one thing you could do, we could almost run down and get in the eye as it crosses south of Perry and come back north into the north eye wall, western, punch right back into it, almost like the hurricane hunters, right? So we got a double eye wall. But I will tell you, once you leave the city, it is dark 30.
It's dark. Yeah.
It's really dark.
Yeah.
Right?
Coming in on the east side, it was super dark.
So we'll need those big, like, was you able to bring that gas can? I don't know if I'm gonna need it, but we might.
Yeah, it's in the back.
Oh, that's great. So I've got some gas. I think you've got more gas, and so we'll need it. Oh, by the way, with the hurricane going south of us, we're gonna have debris coming in from the northeast. All this stuff back to my northeast is coming toward us this direction. This is where the debris is gonna be going. So anyway, the lighting, Jeff. Here's a brand new.
I have it right here on the radar.
Yeah.
It's like a big monster supercell in that northwest quadrant. Just this one mass ball of just convection.
Yeah, it looks really wicked. You want to hang out for a little bit, or what?
Yeah, I'm gonna park and just
Yep.
look over some data.
Okay.
Right there, man.
Bye-bye. So Jeff is doing his thing. He's shooting us a special situation right now. Can't tell you about it, but it's his deal, and that you'll be seeing it nationally at some point. And it's really, really cool story about Jeff and his wife. Okay, let's get this windshield wiper. Man, look at that. Okay, let me. We got people. Okay. It's gonna pick up here. Guys, I'm just gonna move around. I'm gonna try to get this clearing stuff. Here comes the extreme winds. Man, it's flying across the parking lot. Here we go. Let me get this cleared up. There we go. Come on. That doesn't look pretty good. Oh, I see what's going on. You know, towel. Children have stuff in the back. Yes, got another. This 80 over 80 just does wonders. Oh, that's outside. Wow, that's interesting. I don't like that at all. Okay, I'm gonna do something about that. That's not gonna work. It's not the blower. It has to do with the outside and rain next. My other shot over here is perfect. YouTube. You can watch the X on YouTube as well. It's going on both sides. Yeah, we're in Perry. I'm just waiting for, as the sun comes up, the situation with the smearing light will get much better. It's going to get super busy here, folks. I'm going to see what we've got here. I've got a boom. There's that. I'm going to start going. What's going on? Wow. This rain coming in. Look at the sheets of rain coming across this parking lot now. I think what I'm going to do, let me see, I'm trying to, so looking at the, it is raining. It is deep northeast winds picked up rapidly. We've got tropical storm force winds, probably not far from, not quite hurricane force yet, but it's rapidly going downhill here at Perry. If you're on YouTube, on SwitcherChanges.com on YouTube, we're live on that, and we're live on X. We're live on both channels at the same time. So hopefully, thank you for everybody joining us. This is going to be continuous coverage as long as everything stays up and stuff. Hopefully, we'll keep power on until the sun comes up here. We're 5:43, sun's up, starts rising a little bit about 6. By 7, you got pretty good sun up. It lightens up quite a bit by 7. By 7:30, it's up. So we should, in about an hour and a half, as we get closer to 7 o'clock, we should start getting extreme dark right now. To the sky will lighten up, even though we're in extremely heavy rain and hurricane conditions. Very strong tropical storm underway now, and I might hope these people out the window here. You can see the sheets there as they get rid of the windows there. Look at the sheets of rain cutting across the parking lot. See, that's just crazy, right? Yeah, I'm getting behind you too, Windex. I do have a lot of food here in the car. Some water, iced tea. We've got some vegetables, some bananas, some protein. So I'm good on that right now. Looks like we got a new tornado watch just came out. They got another double box. So you can see, look at the winds ripping across the parking lot here. This is kind of the central part, south part of Perry is where we're located at right now. That's really disturbing. I might, you know what I'm gonna do? I don't have to poke you out the front window there. What I'm gonna do with you guys, the other screen is really good. Look how clean on YouTube. You could go to YouTube as well, and you see the screens are really good there, right? And so there's so many. Looks like a chaser show here in the sense of how many chasers are at this location. It is pretty extreme. I'm not gonna kid you. Let's see what's going on. It doesn't like that either. It's got to be in this other window. I wonder if I put you guys over to get you out of that zone. Wow. Try to see if I can remove you guys. Let me do this. I'm gonna put you. Stay by with me, X followers, and I'm going to relocate you. Hopefully, try to get you in a better spot. Right? Not gonna guarantee it's gonna be any better, but I'm gonna try. Okay. There we go. It's a little bit better, not perfect. It's a little bit better. It is just really, really. When it's the winter, look at the water. It's just I mean, it's just it's a hurricane, right? Once the light comes up, it'll be way better in the sense of how clean it is. And I know you guys are asking a lot of questions. Let me see if I can answer a few. I'll try to do the X first. Go back to Twitter. Yes. Yeah, glad it's together. Yeah, forward. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's still forward. There's the image of the radar, and it's back to our southwest there. I'm up here at Perry. There's the inner core. It looks like it's going through an eyewall replacement cycle. It looks like to me the inner core is starting to collapse, which may spare some of this area. But the winds are screaming. I mean, they're picking up. I mean, the winds are screaming here now. The winds are, let me see what the winds are above our heads here. There's 80. I've got about 55, 58 over the city. That's at about a couple thousand feet above us. So we might be getting gusts of 40 at the surface here. And then if we look just southwest here, not very far, the winds are going to pick up to like 70s, like just almost hurricane force winds now coming in just over and coming in 80 mile an hour now winds coming in just southwest of Salem. And then we've got you come on down here and you've got 97 mile an hour winds, 100 mile an hour winds offshore, and the winds are 113, 115 all in the Salem area, and Stodhatchee back southwest there. They're all 100 plus mile an hour winds coming in on this northeast eye wall, so they're very intense. The whole area's got very extreme winds coming in, and I'm showing the people here that's the big trouble right here, this northwest eye wall. So basically it's supposed to cut between Salem and take a path about like this. I'm going to try to do my best here to draw this for you guys. It's going to do a path like that. It's going to be about 7 or 8 miles south of us, and between Salem and Perry. And if you can see right now, in a normal situation, that might be okay, but in this situation, this is left side loaded back on the northwest wall. So if this center goes just south of us, we're about 8 miles to 10 miles from the center. So Perry's going to get this potentially. If it tracks what the forecast they just issued verifies, and I have no reason it won't. The National Hurricane Center's done a remarkable job with this hurricane. In forecasting the last couple of days. It's been a very tough forecast, more than normal, because we've got history of 100 plus years that we've never had a Cat 3 or a Cat 4 here. My truck is shaking very hard now. Let's look out the window. That was probably a good 60 mile an hour gust here in the parking lot. The truck was bouncing, and it's going to get way worse. At some point, there's a high probability I'll have to literally hide behind a building. I fully expect I'm going to have to be hiding behind. I will not be in this open parking lot when the 120, 140 mile an hour winds come in. I can tell you that. There'll be so much debris. It'll just be horrific, right? And the power's going to go out and it'll be pitch black. So it's 5:48. We're about a little over an hour out now from starting to get some daylight. I've got a little, just a little bit of stuff starting to blow in the parking lot. Not really big stuff, but just small stuff starting to blow in the parking lot here. Just little small tree limb type stuff. But again, it's nothing really that big in the sense of dangerous or anything, but it's just kind of tells you the wind's picking up, right? You get these bursts of winds, and a lot of times when you have these hurricanes, almost all of them, it'll rain like crazy for about, oh my gosh, 5 minutes. And then sometimes it'll be no rain at all for 15 minutes, and then the next thing you know, you get a rain comes in, and all of a sudden that heavy rain will mix down those winds right above the surface. A couple thousand feet above the end, might be 100 mile an hour winds, but at the ground you're at 50, right? You get those big heavy cores coming in on top of you, and all of a sudden, boom, you got 100, 110, like in 2 seconds, and it's back down to 40. And it's back up to 90. And that's what happens when this eye wall comes in. It'll be extremely violent in different directions. It'll be northeast, then north, then northwest is the path to south of us. Right now, it's still to my southwest. Man, this eye wall's wicked. Look at that. Isn't that just crazy wicked? You know it's coming, and you know it's bad trouble. But that's the stuff that you've got to watch out for. And here's the parking lot at Winn-Dixie. I'm guessing 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 24 chasers in the Winn-Dixie parking lot. The Sam's and Walmart's up the road here. They have about the same as Minnesota's, probably over 50 chasers just in Perry, waiting for the arrival of Hurricane Idalia. And it's not messing around. It's a Cat 4. So look at that. It's just amazing, this situation with the eye. It's just really intriguing to me. We'll study it later. It's just it's kind of opened up a little bit on this eye wall. I think we have an eye wall replacement going on. I know we do. I could just tell by the look of it. So it's a process. It's not like boom, it's over. This eye wall, it's opened up now on this eastern side of the inner core, and it's trying to collapse. And the outer core is trying to take over. It's not done it yet. It may not complete that cycle before it makes landfall. If it does do that, it could weaken this inner core winds from gusting from 160 maybe down to 130, right? So it helps, but it's not like, hey, it's going to go away, right? It's still going to be extreme damage, right? So that's kind of what's going on right now. Wow, winds are picking up more and more. Hey guys, I'm gonna let you watch out the window there, and I've got little palm tree stuff falling. And let me adjust you guys' camera over here. YouTube, thank you for watching. On YouTube, thank you for support. That's awesome. I'm gonna show you, get you more of the little bit of the ground there. We're in Perry, Florida, and the hurricane, I know you guys can't see it right now. The absolute eye wall is 50 miles southwest of me. That's the inner core eye wall. That's where the massive damage will likely occur and is occurring. But it's in the ocean right now, right? So it's up well in the water, and I'm sure destroying marinas along the back southwest of us here, the marina and the fishing villages back southwest. Right now, nothing extremely bad right here in Perry at this minute, but I think that that will change as things will change as we get the really extreme winds here, right? It will change. See people. We got the gas cans a little high on different sides of the building. At this point, we're kind of into the wind, into the situation. It's about time you think that it might be safe to turn off the windshield wiper. It's gives you another lesson. As the sun comes up, this is going to be a way better situation. In the sense of view, you won't see the smearing and stuff like that once we get full daylight. We're about an hour and a half out from it getting much brighter out here. So depends if we get an eye wall replacement cycle or not. We'll see what actually happens. Hanging out of here, I may remove back southwest here. Thing is, if I leave the city here of Perry, you will not see anything. You'll see some dim headlamps going down a street, and that's it. Once I leave the city here, it's absolutely pitch dark. There's a little bit more palms coming down now. The palms that come down are starting to cover different sections of the city right now in this area. Water, fresh water flooding. The ditches and the sides of roads are starting to get more and more water in them. Got the lights have tripped here. I guess I don't know if it's a power bump or an auto, maybe it's an auto time set situation where the power lines, just auto reset on its own. Plug something back in. People are moving around different areas. We're going to go back south here and we'll show you what that's like. Like I said, just about a mile down the road here, it gets really dark really fast. I mean, really dark. So there's a McDonald's. They're not open. I could use a cup of coffee by now, but it's okay. It's all good. I've got some water, tons of water. How you guys doing over on YouTube? Appreciate your support. I need like a master control operator in this car. G-Stream's going. All systems are good right now. No issues. That's because power's on. Everything seems to be operating as normal, right? It's picking up. It's kind of a waiting game. I can tell you there's a lot of people back southwest of me, back toward the coastline. We could go down there and look at that. I don't know if that's the wisest thing to do, quite frankly. It's not very far. Wow. Wow. Oh, I see. I see what they did. Okay. I'm just checking some things out. See if the, that's interesting. Just looking at an option here. Wow. Oh, Keaton Beach. I see. There's where he's at. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate your support there. Yeah, Chris is telling me, hey, Jeff, you need some coffee, buddy. Yeah, it's it's possible. Let me look at something. I may do this, I may not. I probably won't. I'm going to get down to Keaton Beach. There's a lot of people went down to Keaton Beach, back southwest here, about 20 miles. Okay, just got a storm report. Oh, that's probably the auto, maybe a chaser report. No damage. Just 1 mile. Wow. Okay, I already got damage in Perry. Let's go check that out. I've got damage here. Just on the northwest side of Perry. It says light poles broke, fallen over, right? Northwest side of Perry. So damage is starting occurring. Like I said, things will ramp up, people, over the next hour or two. Things will get way more interesting. Some palms in the middle of the road. There's a police department. Everybody's can see what the storm is doing. So it just had the first damage report on the just northwest of Perry, the northwest suburb side, and that has to do with the light pole. Wow, 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 wow. Some more palms coming down. I'm just going to stop here at town. I'm turning around and go back into town. You can see how dark it's getting outside town. It's just, you go in total darkness. There's not much south of town, a few houses, a few things, but not much. And it's, once you get south down there, it's going to get very, very dark. And if your trees in the road, you're not going to see it until the last second. It's all those kind of hazards, right? Because that's going to happen. And it's going to happen really, really fast. When this thing comes slamming in here, it's on its way. Okay, somebody's asked us something here on X. Yeah, the animal's right. How far are you from Tallahassee? Great question. I'll tell you real quick. Let's just look at that together here. So from Tallahassee, there's Tallahassee next rad, and it goes southeast here. I'm 50 miles southeast of Tallahassee. 50 miles. Okay. Anybody else got any questions right now? Because you better ask it now, because about 1 hour I will not be able to answer anything. I'll be nothing but driving and filming and trying to capture everything happening. I've got we're gonna have about 8 cameras going, but I don't have to man them. They're gonna be locked down. They're gonna be set, and then once the extreme destruction begins, however this unfolds over the next hour or two, I have no idea how it's going to unfold. The cameras are rolling. I'm going to have 360 cameras going on the roof. I've got cameras out the side, out the back, in the front. Cameras inside pointing back at me. Cameras pointing at the iPad with the data. So it's just got this complete 360 immersion of everything. Okay, decent search now going into Cedar Key. Thanks, Chris. Chris is feeding me real-time data from what's happening around me. So you can totally monitor social while we're out here trying to man this and chase the hurricane. And speaking of social, we need to, yes. Yes, we're live. We're in Perry, Florida. A few palm trees. We did get a report just a few minutes ago on SpotterNet that there was some damage. A light pole apparently blew over in the last 15 minutes. I haven't seen it, but there's palm trees and normal stuff. This is the 50, 60 mile an hour winds you're getting right now in Perry. Okay, 4 minutes ago, I was Jackson, Mississippi, talking about Category 4. Idalia is approaching land. My goodness, oh my gosh, these images coming off the internet from the eye, it's just unbelievable. My gosh, this thing is wicked. Whoa, 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 whoa. Man, as eyes approaching our winds, you can watch the big swirl on the coast here. The winds back southeast of us are coming out of the southeast and south-southeast, and up here where we're at, we're increasing out of the east-northeast as the eyes approaching our location. They're gusting hard out of the northeast now, so it's a big rotating cylinder. 1 minute ago, this is going to be Tampa Bay. It's close to making landfall. Okay, this is picking up in intensity. You know what I'm going to do? Let me see if I can do this. It'll be a change of pace. Yeah, it's here. Let me. The one ago I didn't have it. It didn't come up, so it probably may not come up again. But let me just tell you what is happening. Okay, something may have happened here. Gotta see what's. There's a bunch of people out. Let me get my. I'm actually, you know what, let's just go down here. Four-way stop, did that. Let's go down here and let's just go down here and look, see if we can find out where those poles just went down. It's just down the road here, not very far. So that will be interesting to see if we can find that, right? Power's still on in Perry currently, but I'm sure as we get into the next hour or so, that will change rapidly. Look at the messages here. Numerous people reporting. Oh, wow. I'm just looking. Okay, here's a piece of history for you going on currently. Only 6 other years have we had a record 2 Atlantic hurricanes simultaneously to Cat 4, one on August 30th, 1933, 1958, 1999, 2004, and 2010. Wind gusts, just back to my southwest, Horseshoe Beach, 70 mile an hour winds. Hurricane force winds are now coming on shore, just under hurricane force winds, but at that Pacific location. Okay. Looking, storm surge. Okay, St. Petersburg, 4.5 feet, 4.75. Gusts to 49 miles an hour. At St. Petersburg, they're still getting very strong tropical storm force winds there in back down Tampa area. So I'm going to go out here and see if I can see that pull down, but I think I'm going to turn around and go back into town. Maybe that pole's right here. Just stop and looking. See how the rain comes in waves. That was my helmet, hurricane helmet. Maybe it's time to get it on. It just fell off the back chair. Yeah, I'm getting hit with higher and higher winds. Yeah. Okay. Other scientists are talking about the same thing I just discussed with you guys, that we got a second eye wall replacement that's starting to happen. Probably won't have time to weaken that much before landfall. I'll expand the wind field, so we're going to take the inner core and we're going to move those outward and try and we're going to move those outward, so you're going to have a bigger area of higher winds over a larger area. But you're still going to have the core damaging winds coming ashore, and it's we'll see how what happens with that. We'll turn around and go back in the city, and anything. Let me look at something here real quick. Spotter ID. guys. Actually, I've got another damage report just came in. Southwest, there's damage now reported southwest of me. Trees are going down. Oh my gosh. Good thing to do not. Oh no, I told the guys don't go down there, and they did. Okay, this is why you don't go to the Outer Banks during a Cat 4 hurricane. Trees are down on Highway 361, 7 miles north of Keaton Beach, blocking northbound lanes. Back escape routes are now being blocked to my southwest. You got chasers that are going to be stuck down there and trapped down there back to my southwest, back toward Keatonville, that area. So you got to, this road here has some has some damage. Let's go down here and look at these poles. It's probably not very big poles, but there's some damage just up the road here, about a half a mile. But now they're reporting trees are coming down immediately back southwest of me. So like 5 miles, 7 miles southwest of Perry, roads are now starting to be impassable. There's one of the northbound lanes that go back down to Keaton Beach. The northbound lanes, there's a big tree across it. The report just came in on SpotterNet. So trees are starting to go down. The winds are increasing, and the damage is starting to slowly uptick as we get 70-mile-an-hour winds, maybe some gusts over that over the next hour. And let's see what we've got here on the 6 o'clock, 6:07 a.m. So we're about an hour and a half out from the hurricane, the full-blown hurricane making landfall, but 80-mile-an-hour winds plus are coming in from the south. While winds are picking up strongly out of the northeast, north now here. Oh my gosh, the ice is just super wicked in my southwest. That thing is mega wicked. When I say mega wicked, it's just got that horrible look to it. It's doing an annual replacement cycle. There's so much going on at the same time with this landfalling hurricane. It's kind of hard to put it all in perspective because I could spend an hour just talking about a little 3 mile by 3 mile area and what's happening at that location. Water's rising, and as well as damage is increasing from the hurricane center up to Perry. We're getting more and more reports coming in now. Trees are going down, and wind damage, and we have some pole breakage out here. Yeah, I'm getting very, very close to apparently some lanes that are powered or some poles down here somewhere. They're supposed to be near this road, on this road, by this road. So things are going to go downhill pretty quickly here over the next hour. By 7 o'clock, 7 to 8, when we're going to get those really destructive winds, if they're still totally intact. I think there will be. It may not be gusts from 130 to 160. It would probably get more like gusts like 90 to 125, 130. Is what it looks like, right? So I'm just going to go here, kind of back northwest of Perry. This is where technically back up to Tallahassee. But I'm not going to Tallahassee. I'm going to turn around and go back south here, waiting for the main event to get up here. Winds are really screaming out of the northeast now. Northeast, very heavily now, out of the northeast now. East-northeast. So there's poles down right up here. See how close to the SpotterNet is? It's probably up near that white area. Oh, there's a chaser there right there. Russell Bradshaw. See, I don't know Russell. It must be on the that parking. Maybe it's in a little strip shopping center up here. Winds are increasing here. Should be that parking lot. Don't see anything, but it's oh, I'll see what happened. Okay. So this gas station here, I've got a pole that blew over. It looks like, yeah, that's exactly what happened. So you guys, I got to start being careful here. You don't want to get trapped. But here, I'm going to take and get you this shot real quick. So here's the pole that broke over. It looks like it's an aluminum pole. It's an aluminum LED light pole. This is in the just northwest of Perry. And it looks like it just got uprooted. It's an LED pole, and there's the bottom of it. You guys can see that. And it's a case. I'm actually shocked that it came out of the ground like that, to be quite frank with you. But things happen. So this kind of stuff, guys, this is the very, very beginning of just absolutely unbelievable stuff that's going to happen in about an hour. You're going to have that stuff all over the city. I fully expect these awnings up here. If we have 130 here in the city, gust to 130, gust to 150, these awnings are coming off. These rooftops are coming off. It's going to be a problem in a big area, and getting more and more stuff starting to. I don't like what I see here in the sense that I've got some other poles already leaning, and I'm not going to stay here because I don't want to those become airborne. And I'm going to go back into Perry, but my winds are coming in. Strong tropical storm force winds, just under hurricane. Not quite a hurricane in Perry yet, but they're coming. It'll be here about 1 hour. Oh, just had a little flash there. There's a little LED light there. Looks like the power's going up, but it wasn't. Everybody's on YouTube and X. We've got you both covered. Everything's under control. Everything's beautiful and smooth. And it's going to be interesting. Wow. The Iowa's coming in from the south, guys. It's coming in. Still about an hour out. There's a Twitter X. I'm showing you that. I'm at YouTube. I'm going to bring it back over here and let you guys see it momentarily. There's debris now on the road. I've got some, looks like more pines. Yeah, pines. I got more and more debris in the road now. So you gotta go slow, and then get back and see it. We can watch everything. Here comes the eye, and here comes the madness. This is gonna be the bad stuff. Here it's just jogged east northeast, and I've got winds probably. It's gonna be winds 90 plus mile an hour winds are coming to Salem. 95, 100 mile an hour winds are just 10 miles southwest of Salem. On the latest radar, that's the outer eye wall. That's not the inner core eye wall, which is even going to be more intense. So we have 100 mile an hour winds now coming in to the coast, south of Salem. Destructive winds. You're going to see a rash of storm reports coming in to their south. Got lots of chasers there. So you're going to see more and more damage. And let me do this for my people on YouTube. Give you a quick update so you can see this. YouTube channel, there we go. Here I'm Perry. There's Salem down southeast here and southwest, and there's the core eye, and the outer eye is forming like an outer ring. It kind of looks like a donut. You got an inner donut, outer ring, and the winds are very high in both areas. The winds of 80 to 100 miles an hour coming ashore now at Salem. Stitching up back southwest there, and then also just west Horseshoe Bay, northwest of there, and the eye is back southwest of Salem there, and also back to the southwest of Perry. We have 70 mile an hour winds, 60 to 70 here in Perry, and then obviously the 100 plus is offshore, but it is approaching. It's approaching Keaton Beach, Keaton back southwest of Perry. You're going to have 100 mile an hour winds moving on shore soon, and I would think that we're going to have we'll have some emergency alerts at some point within the hour. See, it's 5:30, 6:15. Probably within the hour. That's good. It's 6:15. So within the hour, we should have an ES alert go off, and it does. It's going to make probably interact with streams. With us, it's going to be probably a high wind warning alert, and it's telling you when the extractive dish winds are coming on shore. And that's pretty typical. And so your phones, if you're in this area, you're going to have your phone's going to go off with this destructive alert. And okay, he said they just issued destructive. Apparently, that's coming out now, or they just issued it. It's coming out. Maybe it's coming out right now. I'm getting word from Chris that maybe a destructive wind alert is coming out right now, and it should be out very shortly. Maybe it's just to my south that's got issued. It's called an extreme destruction alert from the National Weather Service, and the alert tones will be going off very soon now as those very destructive winds are coming on shore. We'll have the NOAA radios, we'll start the weather radios. We're in a hurricane warning, and by the way, my ears are killing me. It feels like I got an extreme earache. I don't have any infections in my ears, but the pressure's falling so fast and so hard. The pressure's so low. I mean, my ears are popping. My ears have been popping now for about 4 hours, and they're just aching, hurting bad. Both ears. My right ear is just killing me right now. I mean, hard. The pressure's falling. It's plummeting right now with this eye wall approaching, and that's that core really low pressure now. Last I looked, it was in the 2940 and still falling. It may be down. I don't know what it is currently. It might be 2938, 35. I'm not sure where we're at right now. It was still falling as of an hour ago. So Cat 4 hurricane, catastrophic, Idalia, is making its way between Perry and Salem as a high-end Cat 4. We do have a little cycle, and maybe an eye wall replacement cycle going on, and it will change the inner core, and it'll spread the winds out more, make it more of an outer core type deal. Looks like I've just got a special alert here. Let me see what this just issued. Give me a second here. There it is. It's Perry. Okay, here it is. I just got it. Okay, including Perry, just southwest of Perry. This National Weather Service Tallahassee at 6:09 a.m. Excuse me. Man, I'm hoarse. I'm sorry. Extreme wind warning. Western Dixie County, Big Bend, Florida, Southern Taylor County, Big Bend, Florida. We're in kind of the central Southern Taylor County, so it's the county we're in. This is the northeast eye wall coming ashore until 9:15. So here it comes. So starting now through 9:15 Eastern time for 3 hours. At 6:08, the National Weather Service radar indicated extreme winds associated with the eye wall of Hurricane Idalia moving onshore 34 miles southwest of Stitchnip, moving northeast at 20. This is an extremely damaging, life-threatening situation. Stitchnip, Horseshoe Point, Horseshoe Beach, Tennell, Fish Creek, Jug Island. I'm probably going to mess up on a couple of these towns here. Howell Place, Clare, Corbera, Jenna, Adams Beach, Delco Beach, Jonesboro, Jack Lee Island, Keaton Beach, Bird Island, Salem, Blue Spring, Athena, and Cedar Island. Take cover immediately. Sorry. So what you need to be doing now, excuse me, we talked about this last night. I'll go back in this parking lot here. So as this is coming on shore, what you need to do, if you're in these areas with this high wind warning now in effect, extreme destruction warning, what you need to do is you need to get your family, as we talked about, get your pillows and blankets, mattresses, get to the center part of your house. Do it now. Get to the lowest floor. Do not be in the second floor of your house. Remember, in the Perryton area, in the Perry area, you're going to have, the winds are going to want to be out of the kind of the east-northeast, so you've got to be thinking how your house is. You don't want to be on that side of the house. In other words, if you're in Perry, you want to be in the center to more to the west-southwest side as the eyes approaching this, because the winds, the flying debris is going to be coming in from the northeast, going back southwest toward the Gulf of Mexico, right? Back to the southwest. So if you're in the city of Perry and you're in a house, you need to get to the center of the house or to the southwestern side of the house, and stay away from the east and north side of the house, because that's where the trees and the flying debris is going to come. That's the direction it's going to come from. So you don't want to be looking at your north windows or your east windows or apartments, houses. And I'd highly encourage you, if you're in an apartment complex, I did see a couple, if you're on the second floor of an apartment complex in the area or anywhere along the coast here, or condominium, go to the lowest floor now. And again, go to the lowest floor, go underneath the stairs, or go to the bathroom. Take pillows and blankets with you, and mattresses if you get them in there, right? And remember, grab your shoes, grab your cell phone, and hunker down. We're going into 3 hours of hunker down mode, right? So it's going to steadily ramp up now. In the next hour, we're going to steadily ramp up. We've already had winds over 70 just immediately southwest of us here, and that is going to continue to accelerate and get worse. I'm going to look at radar here, and it's getting bad. And it's down towards Salem. The winds are picking up dramatically. And let me see if this thing's going to move south here. See if it's going to go south of Salem over. It's targeted to go just south of us here. There's very strong winds, 70 to 80 miles an hour, very strong, 85, 100 mile an hour winds now. 105 mile an hour winds are coming on shore just southwest of Salem. They're very destructive winds are now just southwest of Salem, are coming on shore, and they're 85 to 90 miles an hour. They're very high, right? Very high destructive winds. So right now, let's go down here. I'm going to look here. I'm going to go, I think I'm going to jog southeastward here. Maybe just a little bit. But boy, that's those winds are, try to decide whether I want to drop south or stay here in the city, because this is very lit, right? It's well lit. How you guys doing on YouTube there? I'll be careful. Thank you guys. I can tell you, I can't quite see daylight yet, but I can tell the overall sky is lighting up, which is a very, very good thing. Okay, we've been talking since yesterday about that somewhere around sunrise that the northern eye wall, northeast eye wall will start approaching us, right? And that's what we're seeing. Okay, we've got people everywhere, intersections. There's people moving around the city. Okay, guys, it's going to get really super duper mega crazy. My winds are really howling out. Here we go. I'm looking. Should be start having flying debris pretty soon, guys. It's coming up. I mean, it's coming up fast and hard from my southwest. There's wow, we're just northeast of the eye wall. Man, my ears. Whoa. Okay. Not many reports down at Salem, that area. I'm sure because it's maybe cell service, possibly other things. Well, there's this super intense band now just ahead of the eye wall. The outer ring is now moving on shore just south of Perry. It's coming up and over Salem now. It's moving up to the north here. It's going to come up Highway 98. Damaging winds are approaching. They're in Stitchachee and then also at Salem. There's damaging winds coming into Salem. 80 to 100 mile winds are well on shore now, southwest of Salem, and not very far south of Perry now. About 4 miles south of Perry here, I've got 85 mile winds, and 90 to 95 is now about 15 miles southwest of Perry, and this is ahead of the core of the most destructive winds, which are still about a good 40 to 50 miles back southwest of me, 40 miles roughly, as the extreme eye walls back southwest is going to be approaching this area over the next hour, and the next 3 hours is the watch. So it's going to be, we're 28 miles now. So 28 miles. We are currently, let me look at the right clock, 6:22, 7:30. 7:30 to 8, we're going to have the core destructive winds coming into Perry, and we've already got damaging winds moving into Salem right now. I'm just waiting for reports to come out from other chasers of what's happened. There's 80 mile an hour winds to 90 mile an hour winds over Salem right now, moving on shore, and those are will be rolling up in this general direction as the hurricane continues to move northeast. Okay. So I'm staying in the city of Perry right now just because it's safer. There's lights. Once it gets light out, then I will make a move to change positions or intercept the hurricane in a different way. Okay, I'll tell you about that here in a little bit. We're going to do it safely, and we're going to let nature work for us. That's like the sky conditions lighten up and allow us to have better resolution. And I see something else I need to do for you guys. Sorry about that. On the YouTube side, I've got a emergency vehicle now running southbound. He's got some kind of call, not following, but it's just an emergency vehicle here in the city. At Perry, he's running southwestbound. he's running southbound on 98. He's going down toward down south of town. And they'll tell him what kind of call he just got. Taylor County, which is the county I'm in, they're going to increasingly have more and more type of calls where they have, things going on as far as like calls for rescues, calls for different things, right? That's what's going to happen. Make sure we've got this connected. Okay, that's good. So I'm just looking here and just bear with us here. Video should look pretty good. Does everybody's video look pretty clean? Yeah. We're in Perry. I keep saying Texas. Perry, Florida. Just north of Salem, Florida. Very clean. Thank you very much. As the sun continues to rise the next hour, in the next 30 to 45 minutes, thank you for YouTube letting us know on audio and video. As the sky is getting brighter, it's not full up yet, but over the next hour, we should have increasingly better sky conditions. The actual sky conditions are going to get much worse, but it's going to light up, right? So we can actually see what's going on and see what's happening. Somebody's coming talking to me. Let's see who this is. Okay, he saw us streaming and he went on. he wanted to stop by. A lot of times we're out in the field like this, you get other chasers want to stop by and say hi, right? They know about you and they see you and follow you online, and everybody follows everybody, so we all keep up and kind of protect people as well, right? When we're out in the field and somebody gets in trouble and gets stuck or runs out of gas or something bad happens, they get hit by the debris or something, you go help them out. And so the hurricane is back to my southwest. It's getting very, very, very close to coming on shore now, back southwest of me here. But we'll see. I think the plan is, don't want to share it quite yet, but I'll have a plan in the daylight. We're going to make it happen. It's going to be very special. You do not want to, it may be an hour from now, it might be an hour and a half from now when this is going to occur. It will happen. I'm quite positive of it. And you don't want to miss that moment. It's quite remarkable when it happens. It's kind of a teaser. What I'm telling you, you do not want to miss what's going to happen in about. I'm going to guess. Let me look at that speed. It's 20 miles an hour. I'm gonna guess about big. It's 44 miles 2 hours from now. 7:30, 8:30, 8 around. I would be back online if you need to get ready for work or take a break or whatever. I'd say around that 8:30 time frame. You probably want to be watching. That's all I'm gonna say. It's gonna be quite interesting. That's 8:30 Eastern time. 8 to 8:30 Eastern time. It could be very, very interesting. Okay, just still watching the radar. It's quite spectacular. Let me go to the satellite and look at the satellite coverage. It's been pretty phenomenal all night, quite frankly. Wow, wow, wow. Yep, it's getting squeezed. It's coming in. It's losing a little bit of the eye. The eyes, it's almost on shore. I'm looking at the latest satellite. I'll show you people real quick on this, guys. Look at this. Look at that eye. Pressure came up a bit. Sure, we have a Cat 4. Not sure we have a Cat 4. Okay, we may not have Cat 4. Okay, so may have a high 3 or low Cat 4. They'll analyze the data and let us know for sure. Yeah, you can see the eye there. Wow. There's the pairing, and then here's the outer eye walls coming in. Look at that big outer eye wall. Look how big that is. It's like a big cinnamon roll. I'm thinking breakfast, normally don't have cinnamon rolls for breakfast, but it looks like a big cinnamon roll swirl, doesn't it? It's exactly what it looks like. And the unfortunate thing, the middle of this one is not your friend. Yeah, I get text people telling me the dry air on the east side is killing. When I say killing the storm, it's hurting the storm from being maximized. It is definitely come down in intensity a little bit. Still's going to do damage, still going to make strain, but an hour ago, this inner core, I was seeing winds of 140, 135. Now I'm seeing winds of 115, 120, 125, 110, 105. It has come down a little bit. The inner core looks like it's starting to break down, not totally yet, still going to do damage, still going to have major damage and major storm damage, but the it could be more of a, the front side could be, we have winds with that, but this back west eye wall, I'm telling you, this back eye wall here comes in over us. There's Perry, there's Salem, there's Keaton Beach right there. It's kind of hard to say where this eye is going to get us, right? Where this back eye wall is going to, because it's kind of reforming, it's doing some rechanging its shape. The core kind of weakening a little bit, the center core, the outer ring, the wind spreads out. When the inner core starts losing a little bit of its winds, it starts spreading out like kind of like a ice skater ring, spreading the arms out. The energy twists out. There's some flying debris just went past me. The winds are getting strong here. Okay, police are out. There's some just trash. Trash is flying by me. Wow, look at that. Look at that wind right there. We've got Perry Police Departments all over the city. They've got units, the sheriff, Taylor County Sheriff, a very heavy force across the county, all through the area. Extreme amount of law enforcement, and also the National Guard is in the area. And here comes the winds are increasingly picking up now. Okay, I'm getting that roaring sound. There we go. I can hear the roar now coming. what happens, I'm going to get a little bit closer to you, turn in the wind. On my other feed, X feed here, see those big high tension wires up there? When the winds start getting around 75 to 100, those power lines will create this, surges up to the rooftops at Cedar Key, surge almost up to the rooftops at Cedar Key. Major power flashes! Major power flashes in Perry. Huge explosions now. Huge explosions back to my, that's going to be in the main city. That's where we have, that's going to be back over the near the water tower. Huge, that's going to be power lines coming down or trees arcing on power lines back to my southwest there, northeast from here. So the winds are picking up. Big, huge explosion down. That's just the beginning, folks. So it's 6:30, and the damage is starting to occur here. And we still about another hour and a half before the worst even gets here, okay? So just had a pretty big pop there. That was a pretty big situation. And actually, I got to do something right now. I'm gonna put you here, and I've got to do something. I got to do something right now before it gets. I'm hearing cars shaking. The plastic signs are about to rip out of this billboard here. The winds are getting up. I've got to take care of something here real quick. I cannot forget to do this. Yep. There's that. There's that. I'm getting that. You can hear the roar coming, folks. When the winds start getting over 70, the power lines start whistling. They make this roaring sound. It's like, whoa. You can hear it's kind of a growling, rolling sound coming. What makes a big difference being outside, doesn't it? Man, when you hear the wind. Hopefully the power will stay on until we get more sunlight. We do this. If you guys can hear this. Got this intersection, these lines. Wow. Get back in here. I thought I was going to do that. I'm not doing that. Let's get outside and show you something. It's the roar starting. So when you start hearing the roar, it's just really close to getting in the really bad stuff. It's on the way. Still got to. There we go, guys. It's getting. It's that roar. That roar is well coming on. It'll continue to increase. Gotta get one thing picked up here. Looking for something. There's that. There's this. There's that. That's good. There's that. Okay. There's that. That's what I'm looking for. It's right there. I've gotta have that. Okay. Take this. Put him here. One thing going on. Can you hear the? Starting to get the roar. If we get up over 100 here in the city, which I'm sure we will, you'll really hear it. It's just to kind of take you around. Time check, yes. It is 6:34 Eastern time, and things continue to go downhill here in Perry. Look at the sign right here. You guys see the sign there? Yeah, on the lot 2 strings. You know what, guys? Let me do something. I gotta help you guys on YouTube here. Let me do something here. That's annoying, very annoying. What's happened there? And get you out of that Pike Pass situation, right? How about that? Way better. How about them? 2 thumbs up. Yep. You like that? maybe not totally. Let me do this. Let's get back over here. Let's get this back to the left, and let's do this. Let's do sit up. There we go. Let's turn this so you guys don't see that pass still, right? Let's do that. Yeah, moderator, yes. Kathy should be on board. That's a good deal. Need to get Kathy on the moderator right now. I told her we would be live by 6 a.m. I kept my end of the deal. She'll be up here momentarily. Yeah, I don't need blue shed. Okay, we've had one arc in the city. Yeah, is that better? That's way cleaner in it on the YouTube channel. Yeah, look at that. I claim both of you guys are trying to show you guys different perspectives. So technically, it's your house. You can stream me on YouTube, twisterchasers.com on YouTube, and we're live on X. So you guys can have both streams up, see two different perspectives, same location. Got the camera looking at two different directions. Just saw another flash. Don't know which direction it was, but saw the sky go green as we're getting arcing from trees, probably hitting power lines, which is expected. And there's Mr. Jeff. Right? There's Mr. Jeff. Intersection here. You see the signs there wiggling back and forth. You hear the whistle. You get these waves. It comes in like, oh boy. At some point, we may break and go south here. At some point, I'm giving it a little bit more time. Okay, the eye took a big surge up toward us. Back to our south here. I'm about to see that right down there. I really, yeah, the winds are eye-opening up. Yeah, weakening a lot. It appears at landfall. Okay, so it's coming down in intensity a little bit. Looks like. Wow. Okay, I hear you. Oh yeah. Oh wow. That was a big gust. Everything's screaming. Man, it's real. The wind's really blowing here. You hear? Gosh. Man, it's just gets soaking wet. Just open up the windows there. Trying to decide if this it's gonna let us. And wow. So what's happened now is we have the air eye wall is collapsing, and it's now making one big outer ring. It's now 6:39 a.m. and it will continue to deteriorate here. Looks like the hurricane's gonna go very close to Keatville area. Wow. Oh wow, there we go. This is crazy. Okay, we're gonna be leaving this parking here pretty soon. I'm gonna be jogging a new position here very soon. I'm gonna let this first outer band come ripping through here. I'm sure we've got 50 plus sustain here, gusting to 70. We'll look what's overhead here above us. Yep. We got 70 mile an hour winds coming over Perry now, just under hurricane force winds on Doppler. 76 to 80 mile an hour winds about 4 miles south of town coming toward us now. Winds are rapidly deteriorating. Conditions are rapidly deteriorating in Perry. Hurricane force conditions are now rapidly developing in Perry. But the truck's bouncing now hard. Almost zero visibility at times. Visibility about a half a block. Winds 75 to 80 now coming into Perry. Wow, wow, wow. Just all part of a tree go by me out the window here. Wow. That's, yep, there it goes. Wow, look at this. I gotta step out of the car for 1 second. I just had something fall out of the car. I heard something crash to the ground right near me. Shortest piece of flying debris. And winds are super extreme now, coming in. 80, probably 75 to 80 now across the city. Very high winds now. Comes in first. So yeah, stepping out of the car. Yeah, I'm gonna step out of the car in a minute. If I step out of the car, the camera's gonna get soaked and you'll go out of focus and create some more problems than it's worth. We'll let this continue to do its thing here. Okay. Now I'm kind of to the northeast side right now. The main eye is back to my southwest. This is the outer ring. The outer eye wall is approaching us now. The outer eye wall. The outer eye wall is coming into Salem. That's let me show you this. The outer eye wall right now is coming over Perry now. The very leading edge of the outer eye wall, and with the hurricane force winds coming into Perry, going over to Mayo, down to Salem, and then you got this very destructive wind. So we're now in this very high wind now, 70, 80 mile an hour winds. We'll look at this here. You got look at this. We've got 74 hurricane force 86 just south of here. This is not the surface, just above the ground. 65 to 70 here, and immediately just south of town here, 1 mile. You've got 85, 89, you got a bunch of 80s and 90s just south of Perry coming north, and these are going to pick up. You've got a lot of 90 plus mile winds all in the Salem area, and then back to the coast, and then also 95 down at Sitchie down there, and then also the very high 110, 115, 120 in southwest of Salem. These are all going to be rotating up toward Salem. Salem's in the outer eye wall band now. It's not the only one. It is one of them. It's definitely changing its shape rapidly now on radar. We're looking at this thing, and we'll look at this Iowa, it's been doing. You see, we had an inner core there was very symmetric early. I can actually make these frames go back a little bit more. Instead of doing 12 frames, just go back to, let's say, 24 frames, and it'll update, and we'll get that to update, and you'll see how far back the frames look and what they were doing over the last couple hours. But back earlier, I had a much more defined center. The center here is now becoming open. The inner core eye wall is expanding outward, so winds are increasing rapidly in all directions now on this eye. And the eye is now it's just southwest of us now, just southwest of Perry. The north eye wall is now 20 to 25 miles southwest of Perry. Is the northeast eye wall, core eye wall. The outer eye wall is coming in us now. Core eye wall is 23 miles southwest of Perry, about 15 miles west southwest of Salem. And that continues to move to the north-northeast. It's going to pick up its forward speed in the coming hours. This last frame jumped almost due north, like north-northeast. So it looks like, and again, it's going to be very difficult to say what's going to happen here. If that very high core 120 mile winds are going to come over the city of Perry, go west of the city, or pass over us and wrap back over us again out of the northwest. So we may get double hit here. It's just hard to say. You guys on YouTube, some information here. Yeah. Yep. There you go. So here's Perry up here. This is Salem. We have a inner core eye wall, which is just off the loop. The inner core, the main core, the most destructive winds are still down here. And you got this new outer eye that's formed. It's called a double eye wall. because the center weakens and the winds spread out. They were 140, 145 about 45 minutes ago. As this eastern eye wall is spreading out, it's just losing its eastern side core. Then that air is flowing outward like this. It expands outward, okay? And when it does that, you get a bigger outer ring. And so that's going to be you're going to have more damaging winds over a wider area, and you'll be in hurricane force winds longer because the inner core is starting to break down. So instead of having a, 100 to 100 or 120 to 150 for about 2 hours, we may have 4 or 5 hours of hurricane force winds, okay? So it's kind of a trade-off. So it's kind of one of those type deals, but you got an inner eye and an outer eye. The outer eye is becoming more dominant. It's not taking over completely, but it's in process. So there's a little bit of good news here, and that is the inner core is not nearly as destructive this minute as it was an hour or two ago. An hour or two ago, if it kept its inner core, then we'd have extreme destruction coming down. We're still going to have damage, and it may be extreme even with the 120 getting here in the next hour. We're going to have damage across the city, both in Salem as well as Perry here. But there's a big difference between having 100 to 120 versus having 130 gust to 160. That's a total another level, right? That's when you're going to have massive damage, where like you have most infrastructure is going to fail in those kind of winds. That's a very high wind load. So anyway, that's yeah. So right now, yes, it's fairly dark. 6:47. The sun should be it's up, but by about a little after 7 o'clock, the sun should come up. Should start getting much more lighter outside. Hopefully in the next over the next 30 minutes before the really high winds get here. We should have some really amazing. Some people tell me tornado warnings back south. Yeah, there's been several tornado warnings around the state. So we're in a catastrophic storm surge warning. We're in a hurricane warning. We're in a high wind warning from the National Weather Service. Destructive winds, the inner core eye wall winds are coming on shore. So they've issued a high wind warning for these destructive winds. They continue to lift to the north-northeast. The eye wall is back. The northern eye wall now is 20 miles south-southwest of Salem. Continues to lift to the north-northeast at 20 miles an hour. The worst is yet to come. It's still approaching us quickly here now. And so far, it's not been too bad in the sense of what was anticipated. Well, it looked like 2.5, 3 hours ago. It's pretty intense, but not as tense as it was because the inner core wall is not. It's weakened a bunch in the last hour. That's going to be a life-saving situation for Salem and Perry in this area northeast, as the same rockets northeast. Not quite as intense it was 2 hours ago. 2 hours ago, I was having cars with people. I was wondering if we're going to make Cat 5. I mean, it was really crazy on radar, right? Numbers were plunging. Again, on radar, we're still seeing winds of 125 to 135 miles an hour off the Tallahassee radar, about 20 to 25 miles southwest of Perry, still moving toward Perry, also towards Salem. And the eye is the northeast eye wall now, the inner core eye wall is coming on shore now, southwest of Salem and down at Keaton Beach. So Keaton Beach area to that area, the main core, the main inner core eye wall, the northeast edge of that is coming on shore. The outer core is what we've got here in Perry. That continues to rotate around and it's slowly lifting about 20 miles an hour. It's slowly lifting to the northeast. And the $1 million question is how much does that inner core continue to maintain itself over the next hour or two as that inner core is coming up toward Perry and Salem. The last loop on the radar is actually now the truck's getting rocked. I'm pointing into the wind as I'm turning sideways. I'll get bounced hard back and forth. Get you guys leveled. The radar, the inner core eye wall is lifting up. It may go in between Perry and Salem, or it may go right over Perry. It's lifting more northeast. Maybe even the last 4 frames is lifting almost due north now, quite rapidly. So Perry is probably going to be in the inner core. We're going to be in that core wind here, and not very long. It's gonna be very interesting to see what happens here. It's going to get very crazy here. Is that higher wind comes over us. Right now it's about 25 miles southwest of us. We have hurricane force winds all over the Perry area right now for sure. These are hurricane force winds. Thank goodness the power's on. It's not failed at this point in this part, in this shopping center area. It's not. But there are hundreds of power lines over the roads, overhead, continuously. I mean, all over the city, right? I've had some signs blow out now. Here at the shopping center, got plastic signs are blown out. It looks like I'll show you this. I don't know which names were there before. Let's go back and look at the video, but the signs at Winn-Dixie's name's still there. Bella's Outlet's still there. Boost Mobile's still there. Beauty Supply's still there. Barbershop's still there. Curves is still there. And Tanner Square is still there. But a couple other signs have been blown out. So this thing comes away. It's from here, from Perry south, where the winds are 80 plus solid, to go into 110 to 130 miles an hour to my southwest. So the core winds are coming in now. It's 6:52 Eastern time. We're in the city of Perry, Florida. This is immediately just in the northeast corner of the Big Bend area. We're back to the west of Gainesville, and we're to about 40 miles, 50 miles southeast of the city of Tallahassee, capital there. So we're just southeast of Tallahassee, and back to the west of Gainesville here. It comes away, so the sky's getting brighter outside. The sun is up. It's now 7. As we get toward 7, I can tell the overall sky's lightening up. It's not that it's weaker. The upper atmosphere above these rain clouds the sky's illuminating above us now. So it'll get better and better with time over the next 30 minutes. And once it comes up, then I'll feel much safer about leaving the city. You may want to stay in the city. These core winds. It's a count math scene right now, trying to figure out. To I'll leave. I've got a pole here that's it's going to break off. I've got a stop. It's a stop sign deal. It's metal and it's whipping back and forth hard. Got some big trees here. Most of the trees, they're leaning heavily now in the city back here. Now you got to make sure you're not going to be downwind of these things breaking. Right? When you see the pole going back and forth, at some point the pins will break or the anchors will break, and there you go. They'll start flying, right? Go talk to Jeff, see how they're doing down here. Everybody's out. I'm gonna step out of the car for a second. Check on Jeff. We got palm trees flying. Yes, I know, buddy. Thank you, buddy.
Funny shot right there.
That was crazy. Jeff, I was just over there like 10 minutes ago. I know, God, that's had like a 4 million volts going off. Oh my, whoa, go! Gosh, let's move, I'm moving. Oh my gosh, it's coming, guys. Stuff's exploding all over the place. You saw it. Oh my gosh. That's Jeff, Garen, and his wife. They got a special situation going on there. Can't tell you the details. I'm moving, guys. I've got something I'm going to do. 100 mile an hour winds are coming. Yeah, I've got 80 sustained, 80 to 90. Let me look here. I'm going to move over here. Boom! It's exploding. Everything's blowing up, guys. Power's going out. I got transformers exploding. Trees are falling. Things are happening everywhere. Here comes the sheriff. Guys, that was a massive explosion substation right there. That was just total insanity. The high winds are coming. Let me see what winds are here. Stay with us. We're in the city of Perry, Florida. We now have 88 mile an hour winds coming in the city of Perry. We have transformers. We got trees falling. That was a huge, I don't know if you guys saw it live on the feed, that we had a couple big transformer arc explosions and staying outside on the wet asphalt in the middle of the shopping center. And when that thing went off, it sounded like 20 shotguns and just, I mean, it got my attention like really quick. That was a big, huge deal. I don't know if did you guys see the big, huge flash explosion with the fireballs, the beads of, the beads of arcs coming down? I don't know if you guys see that. Can you confirm if you saw it? Tell me if you saw it. Yeah, we saw it. Okay, great. YouTube saw it. Yeah, it was totally berserk. Okay, I'm going to go back on the radar here. Things are going to be really out of control now, because from here, the next 2 hours, it's going to be going 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 135, okay? It's going to be really bad, and it's going to get mega crazy. So you're going to you're going to start seeing, at times we're going to see like poles breaking. You'll see signs blowing out. You're going to see transformers popping, and it's getting twilight now. We're now 7:02 Eastern time as Hurricane, excuse me, Idalia's coming in, and it's full force, right? It's that western eye wall, Cat 3 125. Thank you, Chris. It's Cat 3 125. May have not ever made Cat 4. They'll look at the data later on that, but that's fine for right now. Whether it made it or not, that's irrelevant right now. But it's got 85 miles an hour winds, just about 5 miles south down. The 95 mile an hour winds now are just, let me do a little quick punch here from Perry. 5 miles south of town, I've got nearly 100 mile an hour winds sustained on radar, and they're going to climb after that enormously. This western core eye wall, which is now kind of a hybrid combination of the outer core and the inner core eye wall. This is the original inner core, and this is the outer core, but this inner core eye wall is still maintaining right now, and that is what's happening here in Perry, Florida. And boy, do I see something going on. Wow. I know you guys can't see it. I'm leaving YouTube up because there'll be more stuff happening here. I'm seeing a very interesting feature forming. Wow, okay. Very interesting. Guys, I got to tell you, depending on exactly how this thing's it's like a big pinwheel. It's like a merry-go-round, and this merry-go-round's coming at you. It's this big 20-mile wide merry-go-round and about a 10-mile wide inner core, like a wheel spinning. And it kind of, it jogs left and jogs right, jogs back left, but that left-hand side, which is the left side of the eye, is absolutely super wicked, and it continues to be super wicked, and that's what's gonna be, looks like, coming either in Perry or immediately south of Perry over the next hour and a half, 2 hours. 80 plus sustained Perry southward. 100 mile an hour winds now are coming in about 10 miles south of Perry, and then we're going to go on up to about 110 back down southwest of Salem, back over the water. It's closer to 100 plus back over the water. 110, 115. There's 125, 133. I mean, I've got solid high end Cat 3 now about 10 miles southwest Salem, just southwest of the beach down here. Let me pull up my Google. I apologize, I can't remember every little single location here. There's just too much going on, right? Too many factors. Let me get this other thing going here. Let me get that off and try this. And wow, okay. Carry down Atheny, and then the other is Fish Creek. Got Fish Creek, you got 100-mile-an-hour winds coming on shore. That's pretty extreme. It's Keaton, I believe it was Keaton is what it was called. You've got the Latina Beach area. That's where the really extreme winds are coming on shore down there. Wow. That is amazing. Cat 3, yep. About 130-mile-an-hour winds, about not very far from me. It's 20 miles south of me, 130-mile-an-hour winds. It's one of those tricks. Does it stay south of me 10 miles or does it come up here? That western eye wall is just absolutely relentless. It is not, the inner core has opened up to the outer core eye wall, but the inner core western eye wall is not giving up. It's like a half of a cantaloupe, right? Thinking about breakfast, half of a cantaloupe, it's like a half moon right now. And that western eye wall half moon with the heavy core, that's generally heading toward Perry, right? It could go over us, maybe just 5 miles south of us. Okay, it took a hard jog northeast. That super destructive wind may go just barely south of us, but it's coming in. I mean, it's really close now. Oh, wow. Wow. It's getting very heavy core winds now. Yeah, we're gonna have bad damage. So now I'm just looking at this and trying to get the 23 miles southwest of me is the inbound outbound. It is the eye. I'd say 1 hour. What time is it? 7:07. Excuse me. 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. It'll be really bad before that, but 8 o'clock should be really over the top. Oh my gosh! Whoa! Whoa my gosh! That was the big one. Did you see that? There's flames on cars. Look over here in the city, back to the downtown area. My gosh! Whoa! That was a big one, guys. That was oh my gosh! Wow! You cannot. That's bad. Whoa! Let's get back on. Third time it's exploded, and third time it's like I'm not going out. Right? This is like, oh my gosh! Whoa! That was a big feeder line. Okay, this is like crazy, guys. This is like really crazy. Wow, that's nuts. I'm gonna move a little bit. I don't like this. I just don't like fireball. Flames coming out of the transformers, spreading over the parking lot, and the parking lot's full of water. That's not a good combination at all, right? But these extreme winds are coming in 80 plus now across this area. Yep. Wow. Turn this up. Yeah, that's pretty extreme there, guys. The worst is yet to come. It's on the way. It'll be here in about 20. Well, oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I'm not laughing, guys. This is nuts. I'm sorry. This is crazy. This is crazy. It's the winds are just getting more extreme. I got debris flying in the air now. Power flashes. I believe there's a tree hitting some very big power lines. Got the heat turned on, try to keep the windows defogged. Yes, I gotta. Wow. That's absolutely incredible. Twilight's getting here. 7:10. We're in Perry, Florida. Hurricane Idalia is making landfall. Okay, well, I've got tornado vortex signatures now on the western eye wall. If you couldn't get more crazier than that, wow. Guys, I got a new attribute. It tells me the track of that storm, it tells me the direction path. I've got it coming into the southern side of Perry, and we're going to get hit by the northern eye wall. In Perry, on the south side of Perry, we're going to have destructive, very damaged winds. Cars rocking violently now. I'm facing the truck. It's facing into the headwinds, into the wind. If I'm turned sideways, it'll be really bad. Holding tight here on that kind of the south side of Perry, almost the southwest, south central. Looks like right now we have 90 to got a lot of 85, 88 mile an hour winds over the city at Perry based on Tallahassee radar. 95, 96 is about 4 miles southwest of the city and south of the city toward here in Salem. Salem area, you've got 98 to 100 mile an hour winds over the city. You drop that, take about 10% off that because it's above ground. So probably 90 mile an hour winds in Salem. And then immediately to the west and northwest and southwest of Salem, the winds are they climb rapidly to 120, 125, 129, 132, 125. Extremely mass destructive winds are now back to the southwest. Church Cam at Horseshoe Beach, completely almost submerged now. That's immediately back to my southwest. Massive storm surge is now hitting the coast, just ahead of the eye. Everything's going underwater behind me. I don't know how deep it is. It's probably upwards of 10 feet. I'm estimating right now, maybe 12 immediately southwest of me, southwest of Salem. Okay. Waiting for the light just to come up just a little bit more. Just a little bit more light. Gosh, I don't like what's happening on the radar. It's compressing. The outer eye wall is now coming onshore. Give you guys some shots here. There we go. YouTube people. So here's Perry right up here. There's damage reports coming in. So what's happening, the center has spread out and we got this outer eye wall over at Perry, 70 to 85 mile an hour winds now, maybe even approach 90. Oh my gosh. Wow. That must be it. That's a tree touching the clouds. I'm letting you guys on YouTube. Again, I'm on Twitter Live and X Live. You guys can see the clouds above me. I'm pointing up the sky as the sun's rising over Florida. The clouds are above me are out of the northeast at probably over 100 miles an hour. There are 100 mile an hour winds now above me, racing back southwest. The clouds are racing, just flying southwest. Around the eye, they're just rocking back southwest. Wow. Okay, as soon as the sun gets up a little bit more, it's up that YouTube. I'm trying to get you back mounted here. What's the feed? Uh-oh. Gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Just stay with us here. Thank you for support. Change positions here. Things are going to get really, really bad here soon. It's starting to get a little bit lighter. Not leaving yet. It's not quite light enough to get on the road. Almost. I'll do something real quick. Equipment on the roof. The northern eye wall, outer eye wall is over Snell, and the northern core eye wall is approaching us, but not over us. So we'll see what happens here over the next hour. But it won't take that long to get up here, probably. Try to go back to, yes, I'm live on YouTube, Twister Chasers. Yes, we're live on YouTube and we're live on X. We're live on YouTube and X. YouTube's under twisterchasers.com. Yeah, that was wild. All right. We've got power. We got trees hitting high voltage power lines in the city, making tremendous arcs. Here comes the winds. I got really bad winds now. Yeah, I'll let this go. Got cameras going. Nice. Okay. Okay, I'd say 80 plus, maybe 90 here now. Let's see what we have here. 90 mile an hour winds, just a couple thousand feet above the city. 97 to 100 mile an hour winds are crossing, going down Highway 98 between Salem and Perry. Nearly 100 mile an hour winds are crossing south of Perry now, going over Perry. 120. Okay. That's ridiculous. I got fire in the parking lot in the middle of water. I see what's happening. Okay, those guys are gonna, well, I don't know if they're gonna come down or not, but they're, oh gosh, oh my goodness, guys. Wow, huge explosion. Another big arcing power line back in this, that's in this heart of the city, back to the southwest, or northwest, excuse me, north of the city. Big, huge, yeah, it's getting kind of the, we're in the outer eye wall, and the outer eye wall and the core eye wall is back still to our southwest. It's still coming at us, and the winds are going to be about 30 miles an hour faster than what we have currently. So we're going to be 100 plus, gust of 135 coming. This right now we've got in the city is 85, gust of maybe 90 in the city, in this general area, 80 gust of 90 in Perry now. 100 mile an hour winds are to my southwest, southwest, coming up at us, coming in from the south, southeast, southwest, lifting northward. extreme warning for this area. And this is extremely destructive winds. That is the core eye is now approaching. Again, recap safety. If you are in the, if you're in the your house and you need to go to the lowest floor down, get to the interior hallway. If you're in Salem, you're in Perry here. start routes, and then eventually Mayo, downline Park, downline Madison, downline Madison, Greenville, and this North Iowa, Live Oak, down Jasper. Extreme destructive warning went out just now. High wind warning reissued. This is we got the outer eye wall over the city now, but the super destructive winds are now approaching. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Oh my gosh. They're approaching back to our southwest here about 10 miles, and that's I think that did it. That's it. That's about as bad as you get. Those are power. It's out to the whole shopping center here, and on the south side of town, 80 plus mile-an-hour winds, 90 over the city, and the power came back on. Unbelievable. That's the fourth time the whole city of town went black, and it's like, I'm back. Oh my gosh. This is crazy, guys. Anyway, that's what's happened here. And it's still flickering. Yep. Sun's coming up. Things are getting more extreme. And the winds are definitely picking up. A lot of 80 mile-an-hour winds, 90 mile-an-hour winds are over Perry now. 85 to 90. Sustained, it looks like. The very high winds are across the city. Billboard signs not too far from me are flexing the wind or moving back and forth a couple feet, and the holders on the big uprights. Winds are very strong down the city. This is City Perry, Florida. 80 plus to 90 mile-an-hour winds over the city, and then also back to our southwest, winds of 100 to 125. I also see several pictures of 130, 125 to 130. Cars, trucks rocketing very violently now. Very heavy wind. Wow! Oh my gosh! This is absolutely one of the most interesting hurricanes, in the sense of how this back eye wall, northwest eye wall, does not want to give up at all. Okay. 85 to 90. We have a lot of 80 to 90 mile winds south of the city, about 8 to 10 miles. And I've got a lot of 130, 130 mile winds back to my southwest here, north between Salem and Perry. A lot of 130 mile winds. Wow. Very bad winds. The worst is yet to come. The worst is yet to come. This is like 80 to 90 in the city of Perry, being south east of me, and also south and southwest and west of me. 110 to 130 mile-an-hour winds are coming in. Uh-oh. I'm getting rocked really hard. Really high winds. The trucks are just really, I'm bouncing up and down, side to side. I'm going to move here momentarily. I'm going to reposition for an intercept. My ears continue to hurt really bad. Pressure continues to fall. It may have stabilized back southwest, but the pressure still falling as the core of the hurricane still approaching our location here in Perry, Florida. Signs are walking back and forth pretty fast. A little bit of a break, and I may take it here and head south. Let me check here. Jeff, let's see what we got here. You go south? Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're gonna reposition here. See what happens. No guarantees. You gotta kind of watch it by eye, and it's coming up, and move. Don't want to be on those power lines. Moving out of that way. The power lines are whistling really hard now, loud. You can hear them whistling. Okay. Power lines are bopping up and down all over the place. Okay. I go slow. In Perry on the Highway 98. And the core winds are still coming up at us. Wow, very high winds, very high winds. It is 7:29 a.m. Eastern Time. Hurricane continues to track into Perry and Salem area. The outer eye is kind of reformed in a wider area, and the inner eye wall is still hi Ada. Thanks for the comments there, Ada. Appreciate it. She's Ada Monterola from Puerto Rico. She's the weather person in Puerto Rico. Does on air. So we're gonna come down here and do a quick scan. There's a really extreme wind belt of winds coming in from the southwest here. That's why I'm going down here. It's gonna get really nuts here, guys, as we go south. There's no telling what could happen or what might happen. I'm just gonna go really slow. You gotta watch everybody around you. Gonna be leaving the city here, Perry here. It's going to be interesting to see how this back western eye wall, that the rare extreme winds that are going to be damaged, quite a bit of damage is coming up from the southwest, 7 miles south of me now. I've got 120 mile an hour winds coming up, 7 miles south of Perry. 100 to 120 mile an hour winds are coming north, kind of moving northeast. That's probably about, I'd give it more like, let's see here, let me reposition this. It's about 8 miles south east of Perry, 100 to 125 mile an hour winds. I've got something down. I've got debris flying in the air. It's limbs breaking off on these upper big trees. Just had some leaf debris hit the car. Got trees down on 98 That's what you got to worry about. You got these big tall pines. When this high wind comes in, these pines on this is going to be on the northbound lanes, which is on the east side of the road. When the winds come up upwards of whatever. Hang with us on YouTube and everything. We still have really strong. We've got 5 bars of service just north of Cross City here. The big iron wall's coming up. It's almost here. We're about 1 mile. Okay, I'm just getting hit with 80 to 100 mile winds. I see debris above my tree debris flying overhead. I'm about to enter the 100 mile wind sustained. In about half a mile, it's going to go extremely windy. Winds are really hard now. This guy's got emergency flashers on. I don't know if he's got in the road here. I don't know if he's pulling over to shoot something or if we got a problem here. We're slamming on the brakes. The winds are pretty extreme. Like I said, the 100 plus mile winds are just south of my ears are popping. My ears continue to pop as the core of the eye wall, the main eye is approaching Highway 98. The ears continue to pop. Okay, the really bad stuff's now 1 mile from us. Oh my gosh. My ears are popping really, really, really bad now. The eye is almost on top of me now. The inner core eye wall is about 4 miles southwest to south of me. Winds are now very violent. Winds are very extreme. Whoa. Ears are popping. Wow. I can hear the wind outside. It's like a roaring sound now. The pine trees are the top of the pines are leaning at about a 30-degree angle now. We're bending over hard back southwest as the eyes about to come over us. At this point, I don't see much in the way of sheds or mobile homes or fifth wheels that have flipped or anything. So far, most of them seem to be intact. Okay, here are the really bad winds. I'm entering. Here we go. Here it is. I got to pull over. Going up whiteout conditions now, just down the road here. Wow, something just exploded in front of me. There's a transformer. Okay, I'm going in total whiteout, 100 plus mile winds. Gusting to 110, 115. Winds are extremely high now. Whoa. Now, 100 mile winds are crossing between Perry and Salem. Destructive winds are crossing Highway 98 now. Very high winds. Pine trees on the east side of 98 are going to start. They're going to break and come. They're going to fall in the northbound lanes here very soon. Limbs are breaking. I can see the left side of the road. There's limbs on the ground now. Oh my gosh! Tornado vortex. Oh my gosh! You see the vortex? Did you see the little spin up? Just had a small vortex go across the road. Came in between the trees and everything was spinning. It was like 10 yards wide. The tornado vortex just went through the just went right in front of me. Wow. Oh my gosh. It's out here by the airport now. That was a very small vortex. Wow. Spring Warrior Church area, Highway 356. Little embedded vortex. Telephone poles now are leaning heavily. Nothing on the ground I see yet, but the poles, I got poles broke now. Down at 356 and 98. Poles are breaking. Poles are on the ground. Wires are on the ground on the eastbound lanes. They broke off. Poles are broken. Numerous poles are broke. We may have lines down. This is the 100 plus mile. Yeah, I got line down on 98. Can't do this. Got lines across 98 now. Poles are breaking at 98, about 8 miles south. I'm at 356 and 98. I've got 19 and 356. Lines are across the road. Yep, can't do that. Lines are across everything here. Poles are down on the north side. I got poles broke. I've got heavy power lines down on 98 now. So what I'm going to do, because I don't want to get trapped, what I'm going to do is before the heavy rain comes in, and that's right there, I got flying debris now, more flying debris. I'm going to do a crossover. If I can cross, I want to do it now before the water gets worse and the debris gets worse. You got to do the crossover now because the damage is going to be worse. 1927 is impassable now at 356 with moderate to heavy damage from this area southward, and the core of the 100 plus mile-an-hour winds that are now about 8 miles south of Perry. Very destructive winds. Heavy damage is now occurring along between about 8 miles south of Perry back to Salem. Heavy damage is occurring at Athena area. More flying debris. The winds are picking up. Poles are breaking. More poles are leaning to the back southwest. As the 100 plus mile-an-hour winds are making their way up toward between Perry and Athena now, crossing Highway 98 and 19 between Salem and Perry now. The road is now impassable. Huge pines are breaking now on the south side of 98. Huge pines, 100-foot pines are breaking, going flying southwest. They're flying back southwest. 100 big, huge pines are breaking. Numerous pine trees are breaking. All quads now. Yep. Just at 356, just southeast of Salem. A lot of damage. Whoa. Gotta watch these pine trees and everything. Let me look at radar. More pines breaking. Oh my gosh. Yeah, everybody's, yep. Yeah. Everybody's reporting damage now. Spotter units lighting up, railway routing now with damage reports flooding in. We're at right here. I'm at 100, but immediately south of me about 4 miles between Salem and Perry, about halfway point. Winds are 115 to 125 miles an hour, approaching and over Highway 9819. Major damage is underway. It's occurring. We're gonna stay in this area here. Let's go back to reflectivity. Now we're in the northern eye wall. We're in the northern core eye wall, northeastern core eye wall. Moderate to heavy damage is underway. I'm gonna stay in the center median here. I'm gonna point back that direction and see if we can see. That's where the 130 mile an hour winds are just down the road there. And you saw as soon as I entered the 100 plus mile an hour winds, we started having the damage escalated quickly as you enter those 100 mile an hour winds. Winds are 125 to about 125, about 4 miles down the road. The winds are 125 miles an hour. Here's these guys, these trucks are speeding rapidly southeast, and now everybody's slamming on the brakes because they hit the power lines. Okay, get first is going here. I'm in the center median. I'm stopped out of the traffic area. Everybody's slamming on the brakes. I've got lots of flying debris in the air, lots of small debris like tree debris, trash. The sky, the sky's getting brighter here. Let me see if I can do this. Guys, look up. I'll point the camera a little bit up. There's debris in the air. If you guys look at your camera, YouTube, you guys look up in the sky above the road. Look at the debris. There's thousands of pieces of leaves and tree debris in the air. It's raining debris. There's debris everywhere in the eye. There's thousands of pieces of small debris about the size of, really small, like paper-sized type debris. About the size of a $50. It's just the trees being shredded. And just debris falling out of the sky everywhere here. It's a wall of debris on Highway 19 and 98 North Eye Wall is a solid wall of debris. It's the only way to describe it. Debris falling out of the sky everywhere. I'm pointing up in the sky, and I'm pointing to the southeast there, and I'm gonna try to get this, let me get this up here. See if I can, I don't know if that's gonna, nope, that's not gonna work. Okay, that's going, we've got cameras, I'm catching it. Okay, that's full. Let me stop that. I got to change that. Pull this over here. That's got to turn off. Okay, I got to change this. Yeah, it's extremely destructive. Ah. Got to change cameras. Got to reposition one. Look at the debris. It's getting bigger and bigger. It's coming by. Just huge amounts of debris coming down. Just very heavy winds here. Wow. Getting hammered. I'm in the north eye wall. I'm right here on 98. I'm in the north eye wall, just southeast of Perry here. There's Perry, about 8 miles south of town. I'm in the north eye wall, 100-mile-an-hour winds, major damage. 8 miles south of Perry to north of Salem, heavy damage is occurring. And look at the winds, here it comes. Here, guys, this is the extreme. 120, 125, literally, yeah, I'm in total zero visibility now, 100 plus mile winds. I'm at 120 mile winds now are just about 2 miles south of me. 120 mile winds, 2 miles south of me coming up. Huge pine just fell in the northbound lanes, northbound. 1998, 100% blocked now. Flying debris, tons of flying debris. There must be houses close by. So I'm seeing a lot of paper and toilet paper, or paper products flying. Wow. (7:47 a.m. Eastern Time). We're between Perry and Salem. The eye of the hurricane is now coming over us. We're now in the dead center north eye wall. Let me do this for my YouTube customers. There we are, guys. We're in this north eye wall. Here we are between Perry and Salem. Or Salem down in Perry. We're in the north eye wall up here. Look at that. Just extreme winds. 100 plus, 117, 125. There's even some 128s in there, 122s. It's right here. I'm right here. 110. I got 110 miles an hour over me. There's a lot of people going in the zero visibility. They can't see. You got to slow down. You can't race down these roads. 80 miles an hour. They're gonna hit the power lines down the road there about a half mile. They're slamming all the brakes. They're running into other cars. It's extremely dangerous. You can't do this. You gotta pay attention. Whoa. Okay, I've got violent, small little vortex went down the ditch. The winds are trying to go from, I'm got ready to do the changeover where I've got this northeast wind. I'm going to try to flip over. It's immediately back southwest of me, about 3 miles, where you go with this violent northeast wind and switch it back to west wind. I'm going to go from the other direction. Now the debris is going to start flying the other direction in about 10 minutes. 10 minutes. The center line is about to pass me. 125 mile an hour winds now, immediately south of me. Man, this north eye wall is wicked. Let's see what happens here. Still continue to lift to the north. Wow, got a new radar update, new Doppler. (95 to 100 mile an hour winds across 98. It's now 7:49 a.m. Hurricane Idalia is crossing just south of Perry. friend Perry and Salem. It is full throttle here. The wind is screaming. Let me see it roll down the east window here. Yep. Look at this. Look at that. Those are 80, 90 foot pines. I'm in between, I'm on 98, 19, in between two rows of pines. Roll the wind down, you can smell pine in the air, a very heavy pine smell. Smells like you're in the pine closet. Whoa, whoa, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, my truck almost rolled. That was a bad one, that was a really bad gust. My truck almost rolled. It literally lifted up off the ground on the left-hand side and be on the northeast. I gotta turn the truck into the wind now. Okay, listen to the wind outside. I'm like 100, 110 now. I'm gonna turn my truck more to the, back to the northeast. You gotta change directions as the wind changes. I gotta point my truck into the wind. Give me just a second here. See what this thing's doing here. Tons of damage reports coming in south of Perry now. Trees, power poles, trees uprooted, lines down. It's all the stuff you would expect. Okay, still bright. Go back down this road slowly. Uh-oh. Did that guy just roll through? You know what? Something else. Never mind. Let's enter somebody's house. I saw reflectors, so I thought somebody went off the road. Look at the debris. I don't know if you guys can see it. I cannot describe what I'm seeing here right now. The sky is total whiteout, and I've got literally millions of leaves and stuff. Everybody, you see all the chasers now are turning the cars, their winds into the deal, including the sheriff here. Another chaser. Yep. Everybody's turning into the wind because of the extreme damage occurring, right? Yep. Everybody's turning into the wind because they want the cars to flip. This north eye wall is extreme. Whoa, this got hit with the 110 plus there, 100 plus mile-an-hour winds. There's Jeff. Extreme winds now, cars walking violently. Whoa. I gotta get up here. I gotta get out of this open area. This open area is way too dangerous. And the winds are accelerating. There's no trees to block the wind. And I've got winds well over 100. It's just, look at everything's flying through the air horizontally. I'm gonna get these pines on the other side of the road to help knock the wind down. Tons of flying, tons of debris in the air. Wow, the eye, I don't know if we're going to clear out. It might be a dirty eye, but the super destructive winds are about to almost pass me. I'm not saying they have, but almost past me. And we're going to very maybe break into the eye wall. Stand by. We may break into the eye wall. I mean, I'm already in the eye wall. The majority of the eye wall's past me now. There's the eye past me. I'll probably break into the calm or the center here. It looks like it's right now. The eye is about, I'm gonna go to CC here. It's immediately southwest of me. Now let me go, it's not clean. It's like about 4 or 5 miles southwest of me, lifted kind of north-northeast. The eye still back to the southwest there. Okay. Past that, dropping south. A 19. Okay, stay with me here. I'm gonna go to defrost, turn that temperature up. This is just lots of tree debris, pine needles. Northbound and southbound. Got heavy power lines down, and just immediately on the right-hand side, east side of the road, we're losing internet, we're losing power. See what I got? Heavy damage. Get switched over to Starlink. Looks like you guys are still online, still hanging on. I will need to switch over to Starlink. Looks like most of the service is out. I'm getting very close to the eye now. The sky's lighting up rapidly now. We're gonna get in the eye. It's lighting up rapidly now. Okay, the wind's getting changing directions. I'm about to cross over. The wind's heavy out of the northeast and then flipping back and forth. Just trying to decide to go back southwest. Everything's fine. I'm just getting in position for the eye intercept. The north eye. We came through the north eye wall. We made that. But air's still popping. The absolute core, the absolute dead center of the core, the eye is now just southwest of me. Oh my gosh. Just look at the velocity numbers. Nothing's wrong. 135 mile an hour winds are over me. 135 mile an hour winds now. Extremely violent winds. 125, 135 mile an hour winds, 10 miles southeast of Perry, extremely violent winds, numerous power lines broke, trees uprooted, heavy. The damage is heavier and heavier as I go south, 10 miles south of Perry. Let me get exact here. 9 miles south of Perry. Heavy, moderate to heavy damage. Look at all the debris falling out of the sky, guys. If you can see the debris falling out of the sky, it's just tree debris. Just leaf debris. We should break out of this 100% rain. I can kill the wipers here momentarily. Oh my gosh, it's coming around. Let me show you where we're at here, guys. Oh, got more damage. Let me show you on YouTube. I'm in the northeast eye wall there. See that? Okay, something happened up ahead, bad ahead. You see what happened? I bet there's everybody stuck down here. You see where I'm in? The eye wall, the north eye wall right here. The eye wall's coming over. We're gonna, the eye's coming over me. It's immediately west of me now, the dead center of the eye. We're probably gonna go calm from 120, 130 mile an hour. The center core eye is now about 3 miles southwest of me. The center of the eye is gonna come across Highway 1998, about 12 miles southeast of Perry. The eye, the sky's lighting up. I don't have clear skies yet. Lots of debris flying in the air, lots of debris. Oh my gosh, heavy damage, moderate to heavy damage on both sides of the road. This is tree damage, telephone poles, wall of pines are broken at the base. In this area, very heavy damage in this area. Trees. I'm looking at structures now to see what the structures have done. Looks like there's some sheet metal and stuff off at places, some of the barns and houses. Truck. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys are back there, okay? You guys are back. YouTube went off, 1998, 10 miles south of Perry. Moderate to heavy damage. Look at all the debris flying through the air. The eye just passed the center. I went from northeast at 125, and I'm southerly at about 100 to 125. Look at that debris, look at all the debris, look at the damage. This is Athena at 420. This is where the eyes come across, right here. Wow. Okay, I gotta do something real quick, guys. Well, I gotta pull off the side of the road. I gotta get out of the car. I don't want to, but I gotta get out of the car. Wow, look at this. Look at all the debris, heavy debris. I gotta go 360 about it real quick. Just a second here. Okay. Oh, whoa. Whoa! Oh my gosh! Sorry. Let's see if I can do something here. The rain stopped, but the winds are 80 to 100. Oh. Gosh. Okay. I'm not laughing. I was trying to. You don't ever get out of the car with the windows up. You got to get out of the car with the window down because the wind's blowing so hard. You gotta have force to get it back open. Just a second here. Wait for the cloud to come over. Gosh. make it here. Awesome. We're back. Here we go, guys. I'm turning around. We're gonna go back in the eye. I'm turning around. I'm gonna chase the eye. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. Partly cloudy. Let's get this thing. Golly, it's right here. Oh my gosh, the partly cloudy should be like just. It's about to run over me here. Just immediately. It's like 2 miles west of me here. Between Salem. About 12 miles southeast of Perry is where the eye's crossing. Wow, gargantuan, that's a 2-foot diameter tree in the road, on the side of the road. Look at the partly cloudy coming in. The winds are southerly, went from violent northeast. Perry's getting absolutely hammered bad, super bad. Perry's in the northwest eye wall now. This is what we were talking about earlier. I'm gonna make a U-turn here. I'm gonna go back to the north. We're gonna follow it back to the northeast. We're gonna follow the same northeast as it continues to track up to I-10. And again, moderate to heavy damage. 19 power poles down, lots of trees uprooted. Extremely destructive winds to my over 19 or 98. Look at all the damage, guys. Look at the damage. Almost partly cloudy, not quite partly cloudy. Technically, it shows the center, the core center. Okay, I'm getting really partly cloudy now. Immediately to the west of me, west of 98. I've got. Oh my gosh, I cannot describe this. I've got debris falling in the sky, and the eye's approaching. The partly cloudy eye's approaching with debris in the air everywhere. This is outrageous. Wait till you see this. Guys, look here. That's the eye coming. The eye's right over here. It's like 2 miles, 3 miles over there. It's a calm. The winds went from 120, 125 out of the northeast, swung around to south-southwest. Now I'm down to about 30 miles an hour, and the eye's right here, the center. I'm gonna go partly cloudy, I think. Might be dirty cloudy, but right, look at all the damage. The north eye wall went through. That's up here. There's a dead calm right here. It's right here. What's left of the eye's right here. It's coming up northwest of us. Wow, unbelievable. Look at this thing. The winds are dying down rapidly now. The winds are dying down rapidly. 125, they went down to about 75, down to 50. I'm down to like 15 to 20 now, 15 to 20 now. The center's coming over me. Just in about another minute or two, the eye's gonna be right over me. Oh my gosh, my ears. Just look at all the damage here. Huge trees, 2-foot, 3-foot diameter trees uprooted. I don't see much structural health. Got some sheet metal off, some residential, not total failures or anything, just some moderate damage. Sheet metal, lots of big trees broke. Here comes the partly cloudy, guys. I'm stopping right here. Part my emergency flashers on. This is it. I'm gonna stay right here in this opening because I'm gonna go to totally. We're gonna go totally into lots of trees. I'm not gonna do that. Here, I'm gonna take both of you guys out. I think I can do this. It's just to my west here. Let me show you guys. YouTubers. Here, we got both phones going over. So right there, it should go partly cloudy. Winds probably 30, 35. Winds have swung to south, not quite southwest, but almost coming around southwest is coming over. So it went northeast, 125, then southeast, then southerly, and I'm coming around southwest, and right there's the eye coming in right now. I don't know if I'm gonna go partly cloudy. It still looks pretty, what we call kind of a sloppy eye. It's not clear, pretty clear, like a donut hole clear. But that's the eye coming across. 19, this is about 9 miles, about 8 to 9 miles southeast of Perry. Yep, okay, just updated. Okay, it's going, I'm gonna go north now. I gotta go back north, guys. Okay. Wow. Doesn't get much more intense than that. Okay, let's go north. Let's see what's happening. I'm gonna go drive back north, guys, and they got new data now. Just came in. Okay. Okay. We'll see what happens. We're heading back to Perry. There's damage. Another big camera up. Yep, there we go. 360 going. Okay, look at that. You guys see this? Look at this damage. This. This is 1998. Okay, it's rapidly moving. This hurricane is accelerating rapidly northeast now, probably upwards of 20 miles an hour. The good news so far down here, because it was in a very rural area, I can't check on every house, but so far I haven't seen any what I consider heavy damage, just mainly power lines and trees uprooted, which is the good thing, okay? Lots of tree damage. Wow. Looking across these fields as I'm passing farms to see if there's roofs off any houses or anything. Don't see anything on the trailers or houses. A lot of times the pine trees will protect the structures around them in the sense of, I'm not sure what's happened there. Okay, this pine trees in the woods. Heading back up to Perry now. We're getting back into the good cell coverage, heading back to Perry. Got lots of debris, lots of trees, power lines down on the east side of 1998. Heading back to Perry. Gonna roll up my window. We're gonna continue tracking here. I saw lighting or power, numerous power flashes just now, or something's arcing somewhere, because I just saw a bunch of like boom, boom, boom in the sky. It's lightning. I got lightning right in front of me on the radar situation. I don't know if we've got an accident here or everybody's just taking pictures. They're just taking video. I'm not sure what happened here. Hey, Josh. Yep. Track it back to Perry. We're now in the center of the eye. Winds are 10 to 15, roughly. Lots of damage on mainly the east side. As the eye approached, that's where we had the heavy damage, which is what we anticipated, right? The eye approached. Back to the that north eye wall, kind of the northeast, north central, and northwest eye wall is pounding. Perry is getting hammered right now, heavy pounding. Big chunks went to the northeast now. Now the heavy wind is to the northeast of Perry. 126, oh my gosh, 135 mile an hour winds are between Perry and Downing Park. Very heavy damage to the very heavy hurricane in progress. Damaging hurricane in progress northeast of Perry. Very heavy damage is occurring with 132 mile an hour winds on the radar, 128 to 132 in about a 10 by 10 mile area to the east of Perry. Now, very destructive winds. I am almost partly cloudy now. I'm coming back north of just about, let's do this here, let's do this right, just about 4 miles southwest of Perry is the eye. Almost, still cloudy, but I've got the lower decks cleared, the mid-level decks cleared, I'm partly cloudy right here. Yeah, the mid-level decks, I've got partly cloudy. Let me do this real quick. There it is, guys. There's the eye right there. Low-level clouds, and there's the mid-level. It's not cleared out right here. Now we're gonna go back into the eye. This is gonna be crazy, guys. So I was south of the eye. I'm gonna go back north, and I'm gonna get back into the north. Now I'm gonna enter the southwestern eye wall. It's gonna be really wicked because it's got a lot of bad stuff in it. Okay, it's gonna get really crazy. Okay, I'm gonna go for this. It's calm winds, they're ripping southwest winds, and then ripping northeast winds. The ripping northeast winds are leaving Perry, and 3 miles south of Perry, they're about ready to go into ripping southwest winds and southerly winds. And I've got some gate to gate, like possibly tornado vortexes. It's where where you go for that northeast wind back around to southwest wind. I've got some gate to gate, like possible embedded meso vortexes about 4 miles south and southwest of Perry. Possible tornadoes developing or are embedded in the eye wall there. That'll be the kind of the southwest eye wall, gate to gate shear. It's now in front of me here. Now southwest winds are coming back in where I'm at on radar. Changeover lane is about 2 miles up in front of me here. The northeast winds are pulling out of Perry now, and you're going to switch violently back to the south-southwest about 3 miles south of Perry. Now you're going to change over back to a ripping south wind, and then southwest wind 3 miles. You're going to have a violent changeover very quickly now. The extreme destructive winds have left Perry out of the northeast, and you're coming around to south-southeast now, and then you're going to come abruptly around to southwest winds. Wow, you're not gonna believe this, guys. Look how it's going from partly cloudy where I'm at. So I'm going north, it's going black. It's a wall of black. You guys can see it on YouTube. Yes, you can. X, you're watching live. I'm live on YouTube, and I'm going back into the hurricane. Look how black it is. See how the dark wall is? So you go from kind of a dirty eye. Now I'm going back into the eye, and my winds are going to just go insanity as I drive into the wind here. I'm going to go 20 miles an hour, 30, 40, 50, 70, up to 100 miles an hour. And you see that wall, that black wall in front of me? When we get to that black wall, it's going to be out of control, and the debris is going to be flying the other direction. Okay, got heavy damage, hit some trailers here. Yeah, big damage now. 4 miles southwest and there's other northeast. Some trees fell on some mobile homes, and some houses, it got clipped. So I got roof damage. 4 miles south of Perry, there's damage. I'd call it light damage on structures, but marked to heavy damage on trees and power lines. I'm looking as I'm